one.
Are you ready?
You ready
I hope you are.
I'm not going to partake in that.
for the one in attendance and the 20-something watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we got 16 right now. So, but if you
Just
share,
dark.
if you share the heck out of this live stream, we'll have more than 16 people watching. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
What
well,
is
just
going
clicking up.
on?
Oh, you already lost one.
Oh, yeah. Alan, quit watching. This is the 2022
Double deuce.
fiasco known as the SmackDown Outdoors virtual ice fishing show, brought to you by Clam Outdoors, Glacier Ice Houses, and the building that we are currently sitting in, Thorne Brothers in Blaine, Minnesota. That's right. We are live from Thorne Brothers. You can come on down and watch the show, or I suppose come up or come from one of the sides, depending on where you live. Come up here and watch the show. And we have a gorgeous, let's see it here.
Bring the
Kishler
goods.
custom rod. He finally brought it. And you can win this. All you got to do is show up, sit through a segment, and watch the show.
buddy.
Yeah. Now, this is a non-conforming rod. One of your NCR rods, which kind of means it's good. No, wait, what is it? What is it? Oh, it's a power noodle. Oh, look at that. Look at that action. Whoa. This is a gorgeous rod. It's,
slick.
I mean, fantastic. It's got our 3 logos on here. Orange, you got orange and black and gold. I don't even know if that's going to do it any, it won't do it any justice whatsoever, but Alan will do his best, get it into frame there. But it's a fantastic rod. All you got to do is show up here, sit through a segment or close enough, and then we got a bucket with you put your name and phone number in there, and we'll draw it at the end of the show.
Dale, did you get an email from Alan on permission for that logo? I must have missed that. You're good, though.
He's
I
not
approve.
selling it. He's not selling it. Yeah, and we got another one we'll show that during your segment. He's got got a segment this weekend and everything, so we don't want to burn it all up in one. But yeah, come on up, watch the show. But if you share the live stream, you also are getting entered in to win a whole bunch of cool stuff. We got gift certificates, a guided float tube fishing trip by Patrick. Go hang out with Patrick all day, and the float tube's kicking around.
Multi-species event.
That sounds like fun. Dale's going to take you fishing possibly too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, just double checking.
Sorry, I'm lost.
Anyway, but yeah, so
lost
share the
in the
live
beauty.
stream, change those shares, the privacy settings to public, so we see them and we know that you shared. As far as that goes, I will draw winners this week. And so if you hear from me, you're a winner. If you didn't, I apologize and thank you for the support, but you didn't win. So, yeah, so there we go. Who do we got checking in? We got John checking in. What's up, John? Batani Mason is back, and Tom Petrosky. Kendra's here. Jeff. Pete Scholl. He'll be, he's actually coming in tonight. Pete's coming in tonight. Cold Nation Outdoors. It's Tom Petrosky. Seriously, I just mowed my grass and now I'm watching a virtual ice show. Yes.
Good news is that should be the last time You have to mow.
I haven't mowed in a month, and I'll just blow the leaves into the neighbor's yard.
Been years for me. I live downtown.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. If you don't know what this show is about, if you're new and you're checking in for the first time, going, what are these guys doing here talking about stuff? Well, what we do is we bring vendors onto this show in the ice fishing world to show you their products. They've all got about 25 minutes to show us the products, new or whatever they want to show, and then you can ask questions as we go along. So if you have a question, throw it in the comments. If you think it's dumb, ask it, because I've probably got the same question. So yeah, this is for you guys to see all the new stuff, and there are some discount codes here and there. Basically, just enter in the discount code SmackDown anywhere you're shopping, and if it works, awesome. There is a couple that we did have that are different than SmackDown.
Yep. We have Black Hole Ice Shacks, and that's SmackDown 2022.
That's on everything on their website except for Shacks.
Yep. And Catch Cover, 20% site-wide is SmackDown 20.
Yep. And who else has a discount code or discounts for us?
Oh, we've got Horn Dog Maps, 20%. P3 Plastics, 15%. They're doing a giveaway too.
That's right. They are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sullivan Tip Downs, 15%. Rapid Power Box, 10%. I believe that was that site wide too?
I think so.
I think so. Yep.
So.
Widowmaker, 20%.
Yeah, Widowmaker lures. So if you want tungstens, that's the place right now. If you want tungsten jigs right now, go to Widowmaker, enter in that SmackDown discount code, get yourself 20% off. Already seriously like stupid prices.
And that includes the kits as well, which is a really smart way to go. I bought a couple of them.
Yep.
Fantastic little box. You get a nice assortment of jigs and sizes and colors. It's pretty good.
Yep. So basically, if you're looking at something this weekend, head over to their website, enter in SmackDown, and see what you get. And we have more companies coming in with more discount codes and whatnot. And some of the discount codes do end at the end of the weekend, like that night, Sunday night at probably midnight or whatever. So if you're thinking about getting stuff, do it now or sometime tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes, the sponsors of the show, Clam Outdoors, I just want to thank them for sponsoring the show and having Matt Johnson start out the entire weekend showing us everything that Clam has. Once again, they've always got a few things that are kind of like, ooh, like I didn't know they had that. They've all, we know they've got shacks. We know they got suits. We know they got some of this and that, but it's like, oh yeah, like the light for their Clam Lock hub mount system. They got a light now, and they've added some other stuff.
Articulates and stuff
moves all around,
which is really cool.
There was a couple other things that they had that I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cell phone holder.
Yep. So check out clamoutdoors.com. And also Glacier Ice Houses. Patrick Patches Olson does a lot of the, or does the CAD work there.
Yes. So a lot of the designing.
Yep. So he's part of that team. And then of course Thorne Brothers, who they brought us in and let us take over a room and made the guys stay late. Some of the guys stayed late. I mean, we're talking 9-10 o'clock before we get out of here. Yeah. Get here at 7 o'clock in the morning to let us in, which we greatly appreciate. Some places could have been like, well, you can be here from whenever our employees show up to whenever they decide to leave.
Yeah. Huge thank you to those guys for hanging out.
I mean, just to hang out just because of us.
And I get it. I wouldn't want to leave us here either unattended.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm surprised he was in the next room. I'd be sitting in the chair watching us. But yeah, so thank you to that very much. Also, thank you to these guys, Patrick Patches Olson, the Lone Angler, and Dale Luganville, Full Scale Outdoors. They both have podcasts. Go subscribe and download all that good stuff. Instagram pages, Facebook pages, YouTube channels, everything they do. Go support these two guys. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you.
I just greatly appreciate them helping me out. It's been a ton of fun. It always is. These guys are my brothers. We're on each other's podcasts all the time. If you would see the message thread that we have together, you would know how close we are.
Be a separate
we
podcast.
Can't show it.
Right.
We could technically show it here until Facebook decides to shut it down. So yeah, these guys are awesome. Please,
we would violate some community guidelines.
Yes, yeah, we're team guideline violations. Let's see. We got that. Dale, who's on the show this afternoon?
We have P3 Plastics, which I believe is you two gentlemen.
Yep,
although I'm not sponsored or on their pro staff, but I use almost exclusively P3 stuff. I mean, I do use some clam soft plastics, but that's kind of where it stops for me as far as plastics
Rambling,
goes. So
rambling.
I'll be able to touch them.
Now he's really rambling.
No.
Okay. Put
Pick
the
your
pointer,
nose.
put the stick
No,
down.
give me my stick.
No.
All right. Cold Snap Outdoors, which we could use a cold snap. Sven Sleeves Undercover Guide. I'm excited to talk to those. They were brand new last year.
Brand new last year. Yep. And they have a new product.
Great product. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I've been hearing some rumblings of it.
I know what it is.
I actually have like an in, and I still don't know what it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Arctic Anchor.
Yeah. If you have a 4-wheeler, snowmobile, something like that, a winch, the Arctic Anchor, if you've been to the show and seen it, it's super cool. Very slick. You're going to like it. Mitch Heil, for anybody, we'll say this
I
for anybody.
kind of want to get one now.
Yeah, if you go to Facebook jail for community standards violation, I can engrave it on a tile and put it in a beautiful frame for you.
I kind of want to
Nice.
violate a standard.
We'll do it at the very end of the show on
Perfect.
Sunday.
Get the laser fired up. We need 3 of them.
Somebody call Zuckerberg and tell him to
Heads up.
just for like 15 minutes. I mean, I don't think there's a time for it. So that's our lineup. And here's the thing: is that I think they're all coming from the Ramsey show. So as we experienced with Vexlar, there might be a little bit of a delay for some of them getting here unless they left early. So we're going to kind of take our time, get through. They're all coming in. So like as one gets through, then we'll know, okay, they're here. We can wrap up the other one if we need to or whatever. But yeah, so be patient with us this time around because it might be
we might have some delay.
Might be a lot more rambling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still
might be
orange
rambling.
cone season.
Yeah, I know. And it is what I
Fortunately,
tried to send some messages out, but they're at a show trying to sell products. I don't know if they got it or not. So
Fortunately, three of us have designed podcasts that revolve around rambling.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we're good at what we do.
We're more than qualified.
Exactly. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? What do we want to know from the folks other than let us know what state you're watching in? We're trying to keep track of the list of states. Hopefully there's some oddballs out there we haven't gotten yet. So let us know what state are you watching from, or if you're just listening to this, let us know what state. And then what other off the wall question should we ask
just
to help the algorithm?
If anybody just has questions, I mean,
Yeah, if you got fishing questions,
fishing questions.
Oh, hey, there's a new one.
Nebraska.
Hey,
And John's from Michigan. We got Minnesota. Talon Cook. What up, Talon Cook? How are you? Jeff McGowan. That's awesome. By the way, Sky Yuma, because the Minnesota Golden Gophers are playing today, playing against Rutgers. So hopefully they can get back on the winning train. That would be cool. Let's see. I got all this. Yeah, hit us with some questions. We'll answer those if we. I'll star them. By the way, if you ask a question, I have a feature where I can star your question. It goes into a list. So don't worry. As we're getting to these vendors and stuff, we'll get to the question. Sometimes we just wait for the right moment, wait for a little break. If they're talking about something, I don't want to interrupt, sidetrack the conversation with something not directly related at that moment. But we'll get to all the questions just in case you're wondering. Denver, Colorado on the lunch break on a lunch break trying to watch. That's awesome.
Jesse.
I'm doing fantastic. Turned the show on last night at work. Awesome. Alan Kishler is watching from Thorne Brothers. Is he?
Nice. There he is.
He's right there. All right.
Hey, nice to
In
see
studio
you.
guest.
Yeah. How much time has Patrick spent in the fly shop during breaks this year? Well,
The majority of it.
2 breaks ago, he showed up and we basically pressed the live button. Show him. Just don't have to show him the individual. Show him the list.
Oh, yeah. I started working on my list.
Oh my God.
The Fly Angler has been kind enough to say, hey, man, just fill up, put stuff in your basket and whenever you're ready to check out. And I said, well, it'll be a 3-day thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I got a little, that's all.
I wonder how much extra stuff the sales staff is slipping in there in between.
It doesn't matter to me because, like I said, I'm starting from zero. But I've only been yelled at once. And I looked down, I was like, oh, shoot. I got to go.
2 minutes, Patrick. Hurry up. And Tom wants to know, does the state of confusion count?
4.
our state list.
Stateless.
The state of
No,
confusion.
we're broadcasting from there.
because that would be all 50.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at this point, no lie about that. Mason's watching from Cambridge, Minnesota.
We have some couple Canadians.
I feel bad. I
Yep.
got excited for Nebraska, and when I saw earlier a good friend of mine, Sam Kinnett, was on here, and it didn't even space
that's
me.
right.
Sam,
Yeah.
sorry about that, Sam.
Well, we didn't ask him, and he didn't
Yeah.
pop up with the name. So,
Yeah, your fault, not
Yep.
mine.
yep. So, I'm still trying to think of it. Alan, what's a question we should ask the folks? What do you think? Well, yeah, no, like a question to ask them.
Not demand a share.
Looks like you three will be
I mean-
carrying out your profits in product. Oh boy,
Mason's going for like the
Yeah.
the viewer of the year award.
is
He's been
he?
on,
He's been
yeah,
here, yeah.
has he been here the
all-
entire time?
pretty much all night last
Yeah.
night and all day today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mason. We greatly appreciate that. Also, like I said, like Alan said, share the live stream. We are streaming from multiple places again, the SmackDown Facebook page, my personal page, my YouTube channel, the SmackDown Outdoors YouTube channel, and the Lone Angler podcast YouTube channel. So if you're watching on my personal page, don't share it there. Come on over. I mean, you can share it, but also come over to the SmackDown Outdoors page and share it because that's where we're taking all the shares from that we're going to pick some winners from. Unless I run out of people in that category, then I'll come over to mine. So there
Western
you go.
Nebraska. So
Western
would that be
Nebraska.
the Valentine area? Sandhills?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't
Mr.
know, but
Jeff
when you're
McGowan?
driving east to west in Nebraska, I don't know if this is geographically an accurate statement, but it's the longest state ever. Like you
All
just
right.
feel like you've am I ever leaving the state? I've been in this state for 2
Geographically,
days
it's
now.
incorrect, but I know what you're saying.
It's just a long, flat
Yeah.
drive of nothing.
Especially on the internet, there ain't nothing to see off the internet.
Yep. All right. So let's talk a little P3 plastics. What do you say, guys?
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
it.
All right. First and foremost, P3 plastics, panfish pursuers. They are not your normal plastics company. You still have that one on your jig there, Dale?
Yeah, I do.
All right, because we're going to show, we're not talking normal, like Northland earlier, they had plastics, 1.5
I would've
2
brought some in
inches, stuff like
if I-
bigger plastics and stuff. We're talking microplastics. We're talking small stuff. We'll have Alan hold it up in front of the camera. Leave it on the jig. What size jig is that? Is that a 2 mil,
This is tiny. It's got to be a 3.
3 mil, 3
Yeah.
mil jig?
A lot of their they have
Just go to
sizes
this one
that
here.
are
Just hold your hand in front. Hold that big old meat paw in front of it.
they have
Oh, get the tail out
Yeah,
of it.
it's
Alan.
it's
So
it
we're-
keeps. I tried to straiten it out, but it's probably
Okay.
it's been in a rod locker since last winter, so it's probably permanently in that shape now.
Yeah.
we'll get this
Well,
up here.
hopefully, we're doing our best job. So it's small stuff, and that's got a little tail on it, just curled up right now because it's
And little arms.
yeah.
That's
So-
the scuttlebug.
Scuttlebug, which one, Patrick?
It'd be
I got numbers next to it.
P37.
P37.
Yep.
That's that one
That's
right
that
there.
guy. My favorite. That's
Yep.
my fave.
Yes, they have all these profiles. They range, well, not all of them, but most of them range from XL to, we're talking stuff designed for 2 mil, 3 mil,
Yep.
really small stuff.
Yep.
And those guys always give me a hard time because when I order all the biggest stuff that they can. And that's just what the bluegills eat up here
Yeah.
in northern Minnesota. So
Yeah. So I know they kind of. So let's. So that's the Scuttlebug.
yeah, well, you want to start at the top?
We can
Okay.
do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. The profile you're looking at right now is called the Minix, which is a really cool bait because you can see there's that seam in the midsection. You can pinch that off. You could shorten it up. I can't remember exactly how long this one is because some of their dimensions are a little obscure, like 11 30 seconds, 7/8, stuff like that. It's what would you say that's going to mimic? Probably more of your bloodwormish type kind of simulator, so to speak. Small minnow bait, fry of some kind.
I'm
Yep.
just pulling it up on my phone here
Yep.
so we can kind of. It is as far as the size, it is a 1 inch,
1 inch.
1 inch total. That entire thing you're seeing is 1 inch long. So, and it can be broken down into 5/8 of an inch to finesse those tight-lipped fish, and they come in a 10-pack.
Yep.
And one thing about, and what I'll do is at the end, I'll bring up the color chart or try to add it as we go here. They've got a ton of colors,
Yes.
like a ridiculous amount of colors. So if you're wondering,
they probably have it.
Yeah. So
except for like two-tone stuff.
Yeah.
Because these baits are, we remind you guys, these baits are microplastics.
Yep.
I mean, they're pretty small.
Yep.
And they've got a lot of detail.
Yep. So that's the Minix.
Yep.
Let's check the questions. Do they come in many colors? Yep, I'm working on it. John and Grant are not coming on. Nope, they were busy. So we're doing this ourselves, and we're going to do the best job that we can.
Yep.
But let's bring up the next one here.
Yes, I got a little background story for this one. This one here is the Kopi, and this was the one, and that kind of set the train in motion. And the little backstory I have with this one is I was a student at BSU, and we're talking, I don't know, 2009, 10, something like that. And I'd met John through the internet, and P3 hadn't even started yet. But we were fishermen, and we're, chatting, fishing and stuff. And I was learning how to do 3D solid modeling. And I had come up with a shape very similar to this, and John really liked it. And that kind of set off, that's not my shape. I had something very similar. And John, who also is in that same type of field with the CAD software and stuff, over time had come up with this. And this is a great representation of what a copepod is. And I have a little SLA 3D printed one of my design, and he just thought it was cool. And he was, "Hey, do you care?" I'm like, "I go for it. I don't care." And so that's what kind of set it all off. And this profile particular gets a lot of on the field time with me up in Bemidji.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it comes in 2 sizes. There's a new one now.
There's a big one, isn't there?
There's a big one, or the regular one, and then they were talking about, I think new this year is the Kopi Junior.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll,
Junior meaning a little bit smaller for your 2-3 mil tungsten.
Okay. Let me see here if they got it on the website yet. They do not have it on the. Nope.
No,
Not yet.
Not yet. But that is coming.
Yep. And I'll show you the colors real quick. The color chart. Right there. So if you want a screenshot, go ahead, or just go to the website. But they've got all these colors. Plus, they do a lot of like limited run colors. So if you pay attention to their Facebook page, their social medias and stuff, they come out with, they'll do a special run of some weird purple or pink or green or whatever. So it's pretty neat. And the thing, once again, these are not normal sizes. They're bug imitators. They're not a big chunk of plastic you're throwing on down there. So
yes,
yep.
And all of these profiles are of their creation.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't their molds are all custom machined, which their machinist that they found is incredible.
Yeah,
because like I said, these things are small, and then for him to machine this detail in is it's unbelievable.
Yep,
unbelievable. They're highly protective of that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't blame him.
I would be too. I'd have him under lock, stock, key.
Yeah. So
everything.
This next one here is the Crozzy, and it's a little crayfish imitator, but like you see those the paddles on the back, we're talking paper thin.
Yes.
You cannot hold these still in the water whatsoever.
Right. And it's 3/4 of an inch long. So 3/4 of an inch long.
Yep. This profile here is one that I really like to use if I'm going to be running a small spoon and I want to use plastics. There's just something about it.
On a spoon, huh?
Yep.
On a treble hook spoon?
Most of my spoons,
you go single hook.
I take my panfish spoons. I take all the trebles off and I put on single hooks.
Okay.
There's those little tails, and it's basically, think of this, it's like a soft plastic version of the little flapper tail that's on a coffin spoon when I put this on there.
Okay, I got you.
You see it?
Yep.
It just adds that little bit more movement.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Sarah, she says, excited to get some after hearing about them and seeing them in action when fished with Doug Luganbill.
Doug
Doug-
Luganbill.
Did we have a baby?
Yeah, I think we had a baby.
Did we have
Who's
a baby?
this kid you adopted?
That's funny. Yeah. Chris asked to bring back the Broken Line podcast.
What? Who?
Chris
Wallace
wants to bring back the.
I
Broken
haven't
Line
heard
podcast.
that name in years,
Yep,
man.
yep. Yeah, no, these I like this one too. It's you can they're those two little trailers. They just flutter in the water. You just hold
Yeah.
it still as you can, and between the heartbeat in your hand moving down the rod and the line and everything, and
And the current.
and the
in the
current and the movement in the water and everything, they just sit there and they just float.
Yep.
And float. And one thing I've tried too is actually turning it 90 degrees so it is up and down,
down?
sideways to give it a little more of a baby bait fish profile. I know we've talked about that before, Dale,
Mhm.
doing stuff like that for
Yep.
panfish. So the next one, well,
That's my all-time favorite. I'll let you take this one, dude.
hashtag Spug Life.
Spug life,
I'm all
baby.
about that
I
spug
mean,
life,
it's a basic bait. I mean, there's
It's
just a
a-
flapper bait. Once again, the pictures make them look thicker and bulkier than these things actually are. But once again, you hold it there and it just flaps around. And another one you can turn sideways to
Yep.
make look like a little bait fish.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
horizontal. This flat position here, I like
Yep.
to think of it as like a leech,
Yep.
like a leech imitator. And this one comes in 3 sizes. I know that for sure. There's a micro spug,
Yep.
the spug, and then the spug XL
Yeah. And the Spug XL
is what I run.
biggest one is only an inch long.
Yep.
The Spug.
Just
Where's
do-
the rest of them? Up here somewhere. The Spug itself, the basic one, is 3/4 of an inch long, and then the micro Spug is a 1/2 inch long.
Yep.
So depending on what size jig you're using, you match it up to the correct, the right size Spug, so it looks looks how it should. But it's one of the. I mean, this is a killer bait, all around bait, kind of good for any time. I use it, deep, shallow, crappies, bluegills. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Perch. I mean, it's a great bait.
Mhm.
Yep. It's one of those simple, stupid baits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Open water, hard water.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Oh yeah. Hashtag Spug Life. There you go. And I think they have the hashtag Spug Life shirt on the website, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they do. The
Yep.
Spug XL is a what did Tom say there real quick?
Hold on.
Sorry, I was
Oh,
is a perch thug.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Spug XL is a perch thug. Let's go to the next one.
The slicey. Now, my boy Andrew Kraft is a big fan of the slicey. We've got
Mhm.
4 appendages coming off there. Just a cool little micro creature bait. I think this was the one that's a little oddly sized.
It's a 1 inch.
1 inch.
1 inch.
Okay.
Yeah, and the legs on this thing are super thin, super long, and this is another one that if you want to dead stick this bait, this would be perfect for dead sticking because those legs just
Oh,
are
yeah.
so thin.
I think
so
showing
long.
the picture of the actual thing slightly better than the 3D rendered version. Just
I'll
We can give it a shot
try.
if you're able to do that or not.
While you're doing that, I want to talk about what you're saying there about
Sure.
being
Get the slicey. Okay,
super
that one's
thin.
got the right there.
Yeah, so meaning like, the 3D shows those
Yeah,
kind of like
Yeah.
rigid, like they're sticking out in a V shape, and that this kind of gives you more of an idea of what it's going to be doing in the water. The way those legs are a little wavy.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, it just sits there, and those especially the two longer ones, they just float.
yeah,
and,
good luck
oh,
keeping
God.
that still.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So just a fantastic bait for very minimal movement. Probably in my opinion, the best bait for moving the bait the least amount.
One of my favorite things to do with the slicey, especially if I'm fishing crappies up in the Bemidji area over deeper water, is I will run that slicey all the way up to the back of like a 5 mil hook, and then I still have some more hook, and I'll put a regular, not an XL, but like a regular or a micro spug in behind that and kind of build this bigger profile creature bait type deal.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of fun to play around with that kind of stuff. So
Yep. All right. Next up, we've got this one here.
Dale, since you've got one hooked up, go ahead.
Yeah, talk about it.
I like this one, the paddles. This is another one that you can turn
Scuttlebug.
straight up and down
Yep,
if you want a
Scuttlebug.
more minnow shape. I usually run it flat. And then the other thing I like about this is the main body of it is a little bit more plastic just for where the hook is.
Yep.
And when you're using those small tungstens, those, they're not long shanked jigs, right? So the hook is like in the meat area where the fish is going to go towards, instead of some of these, and this can be my own mental block, but some of those like the slicey that have those super long legs on it. If you get like some short biters and you're detecting bites and you're trying to set the hook and nothing's happening because they're just grabbing those tails,
Mhm.
they go to eat any part of this and they're getting the whole thing.
Yep.
And then that hook is right there where it needs to be.
Yep.
I've just fell in love with it. It's my go-to. I'll buy a bunch of different kinds, and it just seems like it's hard for me to not just use that because I just have so much confidence in it.
Yep. No, it's a good bait. Next up is actually one of my favorite baits because it's so different and nobody around me is using it.
Yeah.
So it sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's the tad bug. It's just a little tadpole looking bait. It's not a huge like movement bait as far as moving itself. So this is something that if they do want it pretty active, but you don't need a lot of movement in the bait, this one right here is really good. Or if they're just biting like crazy, there's less stuff on this one to really pick off and downsize it. So yeah, the tad bug, it is, as far as length, it's 7/8 of an inch, so almost an inch long.
Yep.
Yep.
Again, going in this one also, like the scuttlebug, has got a lot of meat up there on the front around that hook.
Yep, got a good sized body on it. Yep.
Yep.
There is, let's see, Alan, can you, if you're still on there, can you pull up the Spug Stinger? It's the yellow one. I don't know if how well this will show on camera, but this is one we didn't get a picture for. But it's basically just the front of the Spug, just a ball, or even the front of the tad bug with just a little tail on it.
Oh, so that's kind of looking like one of those mousies if you're using live bait.
Yep. Yeah, so that one, just another bait where you can just let it sit there, and that little thin, tiny tail will just do its thing.
And they applied that stinger tail to the scuttle bug too. They made a scuttle stinger where they removed the double fins and back and just put that one razor thin tail back.
You want to
there.
pull up that scuttle stinger real quick? Yeah, it's right below the Spug Stinger.
And on the scuttle, they made
only one size in the tad bug.
Did they make a bigger size scuttlebug this last summer?
Yes, they did a bigger scuttlebug and copy for open water. They're big.
I wanted to get some of those. I kept forgetting to order them.
It's that one.
Did you use any of those this summer?
Right below that yellow one.
How did they perform?
They performed really well, and I'll get into that in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scuttle Stinger. Just like the scuttlebug. But I don't know if you guys can see it real well. My phone way out here, but
there it is.
Yeah. We got it.
Oh, we got it.
We got our first bot.
Spammed. Yeah.
Block user. Bye. Thank you for playing.
Oh, I was just going to put in my profile.
All right. So this one here is my favorite one to say and to use. The Microcyclo. It's basically a Spug big body turned sideways. Because remember, here's the Spug. So you turn that body sideways, and then you added a flap on the other side. This one here, you hook through the middle, it's got wings.
These are so incredibly small. I think I bought like the smallest size, and I wasn't prepared. Like when I actually got them and I took them out of the package, I'm like, I don't know that I have a hook small enough for this.
Yeah, this thing is smaller than a dime.
They are tiny.
Yeah, the Microcyclo is smaller than a dime. It's doesn't give an actual length. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. Go ahead there, Alan. We'll take that there. We'll get rid of that. There. That's the microcyclo. That's how big that thing is. And so you hook it right through the body. So you give it, it's got wings. And if you want to, if they want something a little bigger, then you take a spug and then hook the spug on there with something with a little longer shank. But this one right here has been an absolute murder for me. It's fantastic.
And I have yet to use one. I don't know why. I just haven't.
I haven't used them either, just because the one size I have is so small.
We us guys at Norfin, we had a team day where we all got together, did some fishing, did some filming, and we were in Wisconsin. They were, we caught crappies in the morning, wasn't that big of a deal. And then we went out and we wanted to get some bluegills. Well, there were cribs, actual built cribs, the Lincoln log style cribs. And those cribs are tough to fish. You can find big fish in there, but they're tough to fish because everybody knows where they are and they get super, super, super pressured. I was running the camera, and these guys are having the toughest time catching fish because those fish were super pressured. And I'm like, let me try. This is a perfect opportunity to throw that microcyclo on like I don't know if that thing's a 3. I was using one that was like a 1.5 mil jig. I threw it on there all white, dropped it down, immediately got hammered. I mean, it was drop it down and just hold it. And then they hit it. It was fish after fish after fish. And all I was just doing, because Derek Kumferman, who's, I don't know if he's watching right now or not, but he's trying to do some stuff. Yep. There we go. Yeah, here we go. It took me a long time to get confidence in the micro. Dog talked me into it, and I've used it since, just by a short shank, 2.5 mil, and it fits perfectly. It was amazing. And I'm like, all right, I'm done fishing or whatever. And he wouldn't switch. I'm like, I just kept going, microcyclo. And he finally put it on, and guess who started catching fish, Derek? So that was definitely a day where the bait actually made sense, made a difference to what size bait, and the action of it. When you're fishing in those cribs, if you're fishing highly pressured waters, because that's where everybody goes to those things first. They go fish those things. Something like this is absolutely perfect. It's teeny, tiny, but it's still got just a little bit of action, very buggy, and you don't have to jig it. You can hold it or do very small up, down, sides. I think John Garcia talked last year about a triangle. Just kind of
swimming it around.
Yep, just a little bit, small triangles. So something like that works extremely, extremely well.
In general, when you're doing this finesse fishing and you're really sized down because the fishing is tough, less movement. I mean, the reason you're having to break these small baits out is because they're not just crushing everything that comes down the hole.
Yep.
And they're not looking for an aggressive presentation at that point. So, I mean, I found myself like not quite setting the rod down on the ice, but like resting it on my arm. So I'm taking most of that, not being able to stay still. I'm letting my arm take a lot of that. And so I'm just holding that thing as still as I can be. And then you're just waiting. If you're using the spring bobber or just have a light tip or whatever, you're just waiting for that thing to move. You're not moving it. So you see any movement in that thing whatsoever, and then you just let them have it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. No, when they showed it to me for the first time, I'm like, yep, I need some of those. And they sent me some.
Yep.
And, they sent me some for free. I'm not going to lie. I've used their stuff for a while. I've, promoted them here and there and this and that. So they sent me some to try out. And yeah, I mean, immediately I started catching fish. It's a fish catcher. And I mean, I've caught fish on everything I've ordered from them.
Yep.
So they all work. They all catch fish. But this one right here was the oh yeah moment to where I'm so glad I had this bait to use.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, this weekend, I'm not a huge tackle fanboy. Like, oh, you got to have it, blah, blah, blah. This is the best. But for that situation, when nobody else is catching fish, and you throw something on, and then everybody's that's using it is catching fish, it did make a difference that day.
Yep.
So there you go. Let's see. Don Hirschfield says, whoa.
Wow.
All right. It's not that I won't use bait. Sometimes you gotta.
No, you don't.
But as a lifetime fly guy, I am biased just like the next fisher. My home lake is also full of ultra fussy fish. It ain't called the reluctant dragon for nothing. Nice. This is I just enjoy being the whole reason why there's a take. I just enjoy being the whole reason why there's a take. I don't want to share the credit with a live worm or grub or whatever else might wiggle or taste, smell too good for fishies to pass up. How can I catch fish just outweighs how many times I catch. There
You
are
ran out of words.
there are
Ran
yeah
out of space.
there are
No, I know.
there
I get what
already
he's saying.
something- yeah,
It's the challenge of getting
Yeah.
a, you can
Yeah.
put a worm down there and it's just like
right
a
yeah
slice of bacon. No, none of
Yep.
us are walking by that table without taking a bite. But
yeah
for me, when it comes to soft plastics, the soft plastics have become so good that I think they outperform live bait in a lot of
they can
times.
yes
They stay on the hook a lot longer. You can get right back down in the strike zone.
Yep.
And the few times, like as a tournament angler, I'll have a puck of maggots in my pocket or whatever.
Guilty.
And
Yep.
fishing gets really tough. And if I have to break out some Eurolarva or something, here's what I've noticed when I've finally switched over to live bait. The bite doesn't get any better.
no
It's just because it's
Solid point.
already a tough day.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a tough day, and it's not the bait.
Yep.
These are just negative fish, and it's hard to quantify. Maybe the live bait helped me catch a couple more bites that day, but it's not noticeable to me as I interact with that fish on my electronics. I'm not seeing this like light switch that was turned on. Like, oh yeah, I put a waxy on, and suddenly I'm just crushing.
Right.
But that's not happening.
yeah
And there's been lots of times too where I've put a waxy on and they'll just take half of that waxy and hold it in their mouth.
Yep.
And you're just
Yep.
like, wow, well, this is what we're going to deal with.
Yep.
By then, I'm usually already checked out halfway to the
Yeah.
car.
or they're robbing your bait, and now your hands are cold, and you've got to slide a fresh one back. You just don't have to do it with plastics as often.
actual live bait versus fake bait, use what you want. For me, I'm tired of buying Eurolarva, wax worms or whatever, and then finding them in my pocket 2 weeks later. So I rarely ever buy live bait because I just have that much confidence in plastics at this point to where I've used them enough. I have a good selection of P3s, of some old Northland stuff, of some random stuff that I've been given or bought throughout the years. I've got enough to where I know that if I can't catch fish with something in this box, it's going to be a long day.
It took me a while to get this confidence in plastics.
Yes,
Like
100%.
I was a reluctant adopter. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way this is better.
Yeah. So if you want to use just plastics, awesome. If you want to use just live bait, awesome. Do your thing. Do whatever makes you comfortable. If you don't have confidence in plastics because you quote unquote can't catch fish on them, you just need to leave live bait at home for the day. Go out. Don't just dedicate 8 hours going, I'm going to go out and learn this. Try different baits with different jigs or whatever. Try different techniques. Work them hard. Work them, soft, slow, stop. I mean, there was a day where me and Alan went fishing and I was dead sticking plastics because I figured it out later that we're fishing a river, dummy. You're over jigging. The bait's already got
it's
movement
current
to it.
Yeah.
So now you're making that fish is probably down there going, no, I'm good. Having a seizure down there trying to follow my bait. So it's just going out and dedicating time to catching them. And
do you guys, sorry, I mean, but I don't know. Do we have a show code for P3, or I know don't both of you have a code for your shows, if nothing else?
No,
Nope, we've got a code for or the code for P3
Because
is
people are
Smackdown.
shopping right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's 15% off.
And that is just
Smackdown.
Smackdown at P3 on their website. Yep. Excited to use the full size Cyclo this year. Yeah, I'm. That's another thing. When the full size comes out, I'll be getting some of those for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a Dougie recommended package? There's also a lone angler package on their website. It's called the Pro Packs. We both have like our favorite. So many baits in so many colors. Mine's pretty simple colors, man. I'm like white, black, and a motor oil. White, black, and a brown of some sort.
Pretty much same
that's
here.
all you need.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've come down to. Excuse me.
I think I also have some. I've been really big the last couple winters in clear, like gin clear or gin clear with gold, a little bit of gold fleck in it. It may sound strange that you're using a clear, crystal clear bait, but below the surface.
It's
they
only
can see
clear
it.
to you. Those fish,
Yes,
they see it.
exactly.
fish eyes are different.
Yep.
They see it. Daniel just loaded his cart with P3. Cool. And here's the deal. Order the stuff now.
Oh, yes.
These guys here, they've got regular jobs. They pour when they can. They package when they can. They ship when they can.
Yep.
So they do their best. Plus, they're in stores and stuff like that. So order as soon as you can, and don't worry if it takes a little longer. It might take a couple weeks to get to you. So order it now.
Yep.
And so you'll have it by the time we need to go ice fishing. And now that the shows are starting to ramp up, we've got the one in Ramsey today. We've got the St. Paul show and the Blaine show. And
They
this
will
show and
be
that
at
show.
St. Paul show.
Yeah, they'll be at the St. Paul show too. So yeah, so just order as quick as you can, and that's with everything that we're showing this weekend. Just order now, get it out of the way, so then you get it. Order it, forget about it until it shows up, and it's Christmas early. There you go, and then you're ready for the season.
Yep.
So, what brand of tungstens? Just whatever. Honestly,
They're all so similar.
yeah. I mean, the what? Yeah, P3's got some. I mean,
They don't
everybody's
really-
got some.
yeah,
they're
they don't-
all. P3's got the micros. They've got like the super small ones that you typically can't find.
Yeah,
in
like
stores.
the 1.5s and
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's what I've got.
And that's what those boys, those guys that fish down there, that's why they have that. That's what they
Yep.
use.
Yep. So, but as far as like your average tungsten, just find something that looks cool. Or if you got a buddy that paints, here's the deal: if you have a buddy that does anything, makes anything, Alan Kirschler's my buddy. That's why I get rods from him. I'm supporting my friend. I'm supporting a small business. So support your friends if they do something, and don't ask for a damn discount. Just pay full price to support. If they give you stuff, then fine, but don't ask for it. Support them, help them, buy stuff. So let's see. Don, I go so often, so there are plenty of fillets waiting in the freezer. Nice or fresh, he says. I need to find some 2.5 mils. Yeah, I think they have some 2.5 mils on the P3 site.
Mhm.
Yep. Or just wait till this fishing show, the St. Paul show or something. Probably have them there.
If I have to go smaller than 4 where I live, things are not good.
Yeah, you're lucky. You need
Yeah.
big.
We
Yeah.
fish big up there.
Yeah. Do most guys pre-rig these because of size? Would be difficult on the ice. It's snow, but I mean,
Yeah, I don't.
maybe
I
like
mean,
the night before.
yeah,
if I'm bored and got
I
nothing to
generally
do,
don't.
they're difficult. But if you got big giant hands,
Is it
it's
that
tougher.
much? I don't know that it's
But-
much harder than threading on a Euro.
Can
No,
I,
mean-
if you guys don't mind, can I get just a little bit nerdy for a minute or two?
Sure. why not?
Nerd.
Because being that I fish with P3 plastics, I got big hands. I went to a hobby store and I got one of these circular like bead holder deals containers. They got a little hole in the middle, round. I organized my P3s by color, not so much by shape. And then being that I'm all into this fly fishing and whatnot, I found this really cool little tool that you wear around your neck. It's line cutters. It's a eye threader, and it also has a little pair of plastic tweezers. And I was like, you know what? I have trouble sometimes trying to reach in these little compartments and dig these little slimy plastics out. Yeah, it's just something you could maybe, if you're out and about and you see some plastic tweezers or you got some tweezers, those will help.
Yeah.
Because like I said, some of them are, you're talking a 1/2 inch. It's one thing to see 1/2 inch on a roller, but you see the actual bait and it's pretty small. And when you buy P3s, they come with oil on them.
Yeah. They're
They're
slippery.
scented.
Mhm.
It's
So
one
they're
of those
slippery.
things. At first, yeah, it was a pain. I couldn't
Well-
stand it because they are so small and they're a little slippery. But
Yeah.
over time, you get used to how to
it, yeah.
hold them. Whether you hold them by the tail and just have the body sticking up and just jam it through or whatever. So it takes a little bit to get used to, but like 2 or 3 baits and you're fine.
Well, it's
So,
a good point as a reason to not pre-rig them actually, because they do have that oil and that scent on there, and if
True.
you have those things, they're not going to be as potent when you drop them in the water.
but at the same
Keep 'em
time,
in the bag.
I leave my baits on and then I go fishing the next time.
I mean, sure, I
and
do.
you catch-
I do the same thing too, but
and they're stinky enough and got enough. Yeah, you're good. Petrosky bought so much P3 from Ridgetop up in Bemidji. It's crazy. That's
Thank you, Tom.
and a storage system that I use for all my bags like that, because they're the bags that are like 2.5, 3 inches by 2.5, 3 inches. Is I got a Plano deep box, 3700 deep box, and I put them in there with the dividers. I go a little crazy with my organization, but that's my main storage system. And then when I go fishing, if I have my little I just take whatever I think I'm going to need out of that, and I stick it in my pocket. Yeah. So, Twin Cities Walleye Unlimited. As a lifelong walleye live bait guy, I am moving more and more to plastics and hate all the cost and babysitting of the live bait and watching it die. As a current tournament fisherman, Alan Kishler looks like a bobblehead right now, agreeing with you. As an old walleye tournament guy, yes, I fully agree with you. And the walleye world is moving towards artificials more and more and more already.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys out there winning derbies with Ned rigs, right, Alan? Yeah.
Well, in Canada, it's your only choice. So
yeah, this is in America.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and they're winning it with bass plastics and flukes and so live bait. Yeah, you can still use it, but more and more guys are feeling the same way and finding this techniques where you don't have to buy live bait anymore.
Right.
We can go out and we can catch fish with artificials. There was actually a team, walleye team. I can't remember. I saw this, 3-4 years ago. I saw them, and they were literally only using artificial. Like that was their niche. They made a giant deal about it. We're only using artificial. They were using worms, but they were artificial. Yeah. They were using leeches, but it was artificial. They were using, this, that, and the other, but it was all artificial baits, plastics, and hard baits. So, live bait. Do you need it? No. Does it help? Yeah.
I mean, lead is technically natural.
Well, that's true.
Trying to win a walleye tournament.
We're not going to do that.
True.
Nope. I just did it.
Technically, everything is natural because we dig everything out of the ground these days.
But to kind of bring the P3, you mentioned you were talking about walleyes there. There's been moments on Lake of the Woods where one of the things that I do when I go up to Lake of the Woods with Crafty, I always bring a panfish rod and a few panfish jigs, and it's saved my hide. I've actually caught walleyes on panfish gear.
Yes.
When the bite gets really, really tough, those walleyes up there, they'll feed on the larva coming out of the bottom, and it's not always a minnow bite. And I've actually caught walleyes on P3 plastics.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's
downsizing.
It's kind of become a thing up there. I think Siemens had a little video, or somebody had a video where they were using micro tungstens up there catching walleyes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yep. On Lake of the Woods.
Done that.
Yeah. They see every spoon on the face of the planet,
Yeah.
But Lake of the Woods is a special place, right, Alan? I can go up there and throw the old coffin spoon down with no bait, and catch just as many fish as he did. Maybe 12 more. I don't know. Now I'm exaggerating. Pete Scholl saying, and usually this stuff a smaller guy is making is super specialized and really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of these small, especially the bait makers, you can call them up and go, look, I want that bait, and I've done this. I want that bait, and I send them a picture of the colors I want because it's on a different style of bait, and I get it back, and it is exactly the same thing. He's never made that before, that color scheme. He had to actually order the colors for it, and it came out fantastic, and I caught fish on it. So finding live bait right now is a struggle. It can be. Yep. Daniel says, I usually use both live and plastics, dead stick the live and jig all the plastics. Yeah, I mean, dead stick for walleyes. Yeah, you throw a minnow on there and you catch a 28-inch fish on Lake of the Woods.
You can dead stick plastic too. I mean, I can't tell you how many.
You can.
I haven't done it intentionally, but I'll tell you this, I got to go do something, right? So I got the little rod holder in my Vex, and I got a plastic on. I stick it in there, and just so in case something does hit it, I don't lose my rod, right? And I go back, I'm doing whatever, and I look over, and that thing's just.
Well, you were talking about a technique earlier where you're pretty much
you're dead sticking it.
Yeah. That's a real thing in panfish too.
Yeah, there's current right down in that water. So those little tiny tendrils on all these P3 plastics, those are moving.
Yep.
Just from the current in the lake.
Yep. Yeah, we can talk some more fishing quick, but first let's thank P3 Plastics for making some fantastic baits, giving you guys that discount code SmackDown for 15% off, and they're actually donating some packs of, I think, 5 or something like that, 3 packs of 5 for the giveaway too, so you can win some P3 plastics.
It's $3 $50 giveaway.
Oh, $3 gift cards.
That's a lot.
So there you go.
Yep.
No, Alan, stop. You got to share the live stream. I mean, you might. I don't know. It all depends on if your name gets
you might win. Yeah.
So big shout out to P3 Plastics.
Hell, I've shared it a couple times.
Yeah,
My
but
name's in there.
you work here. You're automatically
Son
just.
of a-
Oh, hey, but are we almost done? Are
We're just talking now. We got
okay.
Cold Snap Outdoors, hopefully on their way. We'll see
Okay.
what happens. I don't know.
not
the
only
Ramsey thing.
plastics, they sell your 16-inch carbonite catch boards.
Yes.
Mhm.
They sell schoolie reels and schoolie knobs
These right here.
right there.
So
There's a
if you want to get into the tight lining thing, I gotta go. Here we go, so I can see it. This big oversized. When you get one of these reels, it comes with this tiny little peg. Like, it's ridiculous. So you snap that off there. You get one of these foam handles, and you click that thing right in there. No problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can just find it.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's an original one. Thanks, Alan. So you can see on here that little black thing. I mean, you want to reel with this little thing? Like,
Yeah.
throw the pinky out, dude. Throw the pinky out. There you go.
So yeah, you just pop this thing off. You grab one of them foam ones, stick it on. It's so much nicer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not going to come off. Yep.
It is. Twin Cities Walleyes Unlimited. Learning how to fish plastics makes you a better live bait fisherman when the bite is really tough.
Yeah.
I won't disagree with that.
No,
I won't
absolutely
disagree with
not.
that. Yeah, like I said, my big thing is I don't have to go and find a little pack of Euro larva or
Mm-hmm.
wax worms or whatever, and then you always forget there. I have one of my old jackets. You open up the pocket and sawdust still comes out because I forgot about it over the winter.
There's a tin of big black flies.
Yeah,
You're like,
over the
"Oh,
winter, and I was
shit."
pulling out flies or black maggots out of that thing. So it's I don't worry about that.
Yeah,
too
for the
much.
record, waxworms turned into moths, and Euros turned into big black flies.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I did. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Let's see here. We're just checking up here. I don't know what's gonna.
Dale, how do you organize
Go
your
on.
plastics? That's
Yeah.
always a hot topic.
Oh man, I am the worst person to ask because I don't. I've got pockets, and I'm the guy going, "Where is it? It's not there."
Okay,
There's
okay.
a couple receipts and some gum wrap.
So the chaos method.
That's me. So
Yes.
last night we were talking to it was Matt, and he was like, "Dale, he has tournament angle. You know how important it is to stay organized." And then you realize, remember, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
Because I had a decent bass season this year, and if you were to step foot in my boat, and you're like, did
What
a
happened?
squatter move into your boat while you
Yeah.
were like, what is going
Were
on
you-
here?
Were you mugged?
I'll be brutally honest. I am a slob. I do not organize.
Okay.
And I get mad at myself for not doing it, but not enough to where I actually start organizing. I just deal with my own chaotic mess.
Yeah.
Somehow it works for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've attempted in the past to get better organized, and then it'll work for a short period of time. But then when things start getting scattered, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
What I've been saying lately too is giving advice on storage is just you'll find it what works for you. What works for me may not work for you. Like I was talking about, I got these little circular bead holders from the craft store.
Mhm.
I have two of them, one for clear water, one for dark water. That works for me. I leave everything else back at home, and I just use it to kind of restock. I don't take everything with me. That works for me. So if you're looking for the perfect storage system, you're just going to have to kind of do like the rest of us have, is just kind of try out different things that come to mind. And usually that storage system stuff is pretty inexpensive to try out. It's just a couple of bucks.
I recommend being organized. Like I've seen some of your stuff, Doug, and anytime like I go to my buddy Joel's boat,
I like
it's labeled,
organizing.
it's
Oh, yeah.
organized. Are you going to be more efficient? 100%.
Yes.
And I know that. I just, for some reason, like it's some weird mental hang up. I don't want to take the
And
time to do it.
It could be overwhelming to start if you've never been an organized person to begin with. You could be like, oh man, I ain't got time for this.
It comes down to straight laziness. So
It does.
I have like
100%.
3 or 4 different bags rolling around in my boat that just came from here, from Thorn or whatever store I was at. And it's like, I remember which bag has what in it. It's like, oh, I need a new jerkbait or whatever. And it's like, I open the compartment. I'm like, oh, that's in a Thorn bag. So let's look for the clear bag. Oh, here it is. Oh, yep, there it is. And in that bag is probably 3 or 4 empty boxes that had lures in them at one point in time. I've still yet to throw them away.
Yeah.
I'm not recommending this style of organization. That's like, there's a little bit of envy I have when I see other people that are, what would be the
Organized?
word? Yeah, organized, but have the discipline. To be
Discipline, yeah.
and that's what I
Yeah.
lack is the discipline to just be like, take the 5 minutes when you're done fishing and put the stuff away. And I
Okay.
just never do.
So I know some people will be like, "Oh, you're fancy, right?" But yes, this is one of the Plano Edge boxes because I had an extra one I didn't need for the
like
time
edge boxes
at bass fishing.
They're
But
nice.
this is how I store. Hope Alan, can you hold that up for everybody? Just to that one right there. That's fine. That's a deep. That's a 3700 deep Plano. You can use the normal Plano boxes too. Just make sure it's the deep one. That's all the P3 plastics, and they're actually turned sideways. They're folded a little bit. You know, I kind of did the fold a little bit to them to fit them in there. But top, there you go. But bend her down a little bit, tilt her forward. There you go. So that keeps them all organized. I fit a ton in there. I've got them in there by style and then size and stuff like that. So, you know, when I know I'm going to use something, I go in and I'm like, all right, I'm going to use this today. Pull that out, put it in.
I do have a couple of those soft-sided. What I like is I can just put them in my ice suits.
Yeah.
The little clam soft-sided Velcro things. They come with bags. I don't reload those bags. I will just take the P3
bag
envelope and just put it in there.
Bag
fold it
on
over.
bag action.
Yep, and it holds it just fine.
Jesse mentioned the Widowmaker Plastics wallet.
There you go.
So I didn't realize they had that.
The 2B dead stick. Yeah, you can use that for panfish.
That's 100% what those pockets are for, Pete. 100%.
Again, another thing that's helped
Pretty much.
keep me organized and stuff is just downsizing the amount of stuff I take, because over time I realized, like, I do not need 7 ice rods. I don't need 3 pounds of spoons, rattle spoons in different colors. I don't need.
Yes, you do.
I have simplified
That's
my
problem.
variety. That's kind of the best way of it's like when I go out, I know the ones like I can buy all these different shapes and colors and may think I might use them. But after years of buying and finding brand new packages I've never cut open yet, I'm like, I got to go buy another one of these motor oil whatevers. I'm just going to bring what I know I'm going to use.
Yes.
And then maybe 1 or 2 break glass in case of emergency things.
Right.
You know?
Well, and I think that's what 90% of what people haul out is in case of emergency break glass.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's a whole better to have it, not need it than they need it, not have it thing.
Yeah.
But that you need to carry an entire store with you. And I'm just not doing that.
Alan knows this for a fact that sometimes I can bring too much stuff up when I'm bringing, and he's got his arms open like this, and he's not far from it when I show up, and I've got my rod box, which is Ice Fishing Innovations rod box. They're fantastic boxes. I paid full price. They don't know who I am unless they've seen my show. That's as close as I get, but they are a fantastic, secure box. But so I'd have that, and then for walleye fishing, I had a bin, one of those storage bins, storage totes that are, you know, whatever, pretty good size, full of stuff, full of spoons, full of rattle baits. I have my tip up stuff in there. I've got my jigs in there. I've got all my other weird accessories in there. And now what I've done is I'm like, okay, if it fits in a 7-gallon, because that's what I use from, you know, my seat. I got my seat.
Can't do 5, got to do 7.
Well, it's actually a 7-gallon bucket is slightly taller, so it's more comfortable to sit on and, you know, whatever. But anyway, so same thing with panfish. I have a panfish bucket and I have a walleye bucket. If it doesn't fit in there, then it's not coming unless it's like some tip up or something like that, you know.
So your slogan at home is if it don't bucket, chuck it.
No, it just goes on the shelf.
Cool,
it goes in that bin,
good.
which turns into 2 bins,
If it
which
doesn't
turns
bucket,
into 3
get
bins.
another bucket.
Yeah. So, but long story short, I'm always the guy that like, hey, I'll go out for a panfish trip, but I'm throwing in 3/4 of my bass stuff because you never know, you know. Or you know, I was a tournament walleye guy, and I'd have more crankbaits than anybody else on that lake because you never know if it's the size, the color, the this, the that, the other. You know.
Yeah.
I need to learn, like, no, downsize, keep it simple, and just fish what you have there. Like, that's it. Don't only bring this stuff.
Yeah, I'm more of a live and die by this because
Yeah.
this is what I brought. So I'm either making this happen or it's gonna be a tough day.
Yeah. Yeah, Joey. No, not you, Doug. Yeah. I mean, I bring everything. It's stupid. So I'm really focusing on downsizing and getting rid of stuff. I need to get rid of a lot of stuff that I haven't used.
Is that a question or a statement?
Favorite lures for Leech Lake perch and walleye.
Was he referring to what we were talking about, or is he
Just asking a question? He's just asking a question.
Punctuation
And actually, my time was a little off. Dan's not supposed to be here till 3, so hopefully he shows up in the next 10 minutes or so, or we're going to be treading some more water and hopefully answering your questions.
At this point, we're just having a podcast.
Yeah, we're just podcasting.
We're fine. Leech Lake perch and walleyes. I mean,
I would say,
I hate to sound cliche, but your spoon, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've never ice fished up there, so I've got nothing for you.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But I would say, buckshot spoon or some other kind of, and I know that water is stained, right? Is it clear?
Depends on the part of the lake. Most of it's pretty clear.
Hey, don't worry, Tom. My buddy Tom says there's no fish in Leech Lake anyway, so stay away.
Yeah, ask Tom. He fishes it way more than
I hope there's some bass up there because that's where the state tournament is next summer.
There's bass there.
Yeah. Huge dogfish, too.
Yeah, I mean,
really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, realistically, no matter where you go, for the most part, you're bringing the same stuff. Spoons, jigs, dead sticks, and then you can branch out from there with the rattle baits, with the jig and wrap, puppet minnows, different things like that. But, especially ice fishing, it's kind of spoons, jigs, mainly spoons, and then setting some dead sticks, rattle reels, tip ups, stuff like that. Color is going to be one thing just for visibility wise that you want to pay attention to when you're first fishing it. Sometimes it seems it doesn't matter, but yeah, it's
time of the day you're fishing.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, as far as spoons, the Northland coffin spoon, I'm a giant fanboy of that bait. I'm associated with Northland Tackle, but there's a lot of stuff Northland makes I don't care to use because I don't like it. Just like every other company, there's a lot of baits a lot of stuff that a certain company makes. I don't like any of it except for that one thing. I like more than just that from Northland, but the coffin spoon is an absolute dynamite spoon. I love that. And the flutter spoon. Of course, you can't go wrong with the buckshot spoon.
No,
dude,
I've been using that for 20 years.
Yeah, is there an ice fisherman out there that doesn't have at least one of them rattling around in their box?
And, other than that, I mean, any rattle spoon really works, and then just any non-rattling spoon. So, and then as far as for perch or walleye, just different sizes. Sometimes it doesn't matter. They're hitting 3-inch spoons.
You get into big enough perch, and they'll take down a whole minnow.
Oh yeah,
the Swedish pimp will still play.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I think people forget about the simplicity of a Swedish pimple.
Yeah, it is. It's just very, very simple.
Yeah.
And talk about a guy with a bunch of spoons. Here's the difference between me and Alan Kishler. And I tell this to him every time I bring my stuff when we go fishing is he's like, well, you got a lot of stuff. I go, yeah, you do too, but it's all hidden in all of these cabinets and drawers in your wheelhouse. Of course, I'm not
your
seeing
tackle box has wheels on it.
Exactly. He's got a 24-foot tackle box. I've got a tub.
Cheater.
Let's go. So, yeah, if I had a wheelhouse, you wouldn't see much other than when I pull out that little box and then shut the door quick so you don't see the other 45 boxes in there. Yeah. That's why boats have built-in boxes, Doug. Yes, exactly. It's just everything can go, and it's that's the thing with boats. I hop in your boat, you're gonna go, holy crap, you got a lot of stuff. Well, yeah, open up the doors of your tackle storage.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you got more.
I don't ever say that. So we have a lot of, like in the Bass League, we get a lot of, not to break from ice fishing here, but you have a co, and so they bring. I've never once guilted somebody for bringing a shit ton of rods or 3-4 bags because I've had to be a co before and like trying to figure out what you're going to bring for a tournament. You're just like, I don't want to minimize. Like, what if it's this? What if it's this? What if it's this?
Especially when you're working as a team, like me and my partner last year, I was like, okay, how many rods and reels should I bring? He goes, I got a big boat. Bring it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you sure? Because you don't know me yet. And he's like, yeah. And here I come. I mean, 15 rods. Between baitcaster and spinning rails, two big bags full of plastics, and then all my hard baits and tackle and whatnot. And he left me the back area, the storage in the back to put all my stuff in. And that boat was loaded down for bear, but we had 5 top 10s, including 3 top 3s, and took team of the year. So
nice work.
And I used 3 baits all year long.
Cool.
He's saying you can see an 1/8 ounce buckshot in 19 feet of water, so it's pretty clear. Okay, well, I haven't been on it. I kind of assumed
Leech
it
Lake.
was like
Yeah.
like a vermilion, you know, it had that kind of tannic stain in it, but I
And
guess
I
not.
think there is some spots where they're
It can depend
different parts.
on
I mean,
yep,
Leech Lake is huge.
Does
Different
Leech
parts.
have zebra mussels in it? Has
probably.
it always
Probably.
been that way, or
I'll
is that
go
a
with
new?
you.
Is that ultra clear? Is that a new thing for
No,
Leech?
it's always been pretty clear.
It's
Has
been
it?
that way for a
Okay.
while.
Okay.
Clearer. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Let's thank the sponsors while we're just farting around doing a whole lot of nothing.
Thanks, sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you.
That's enough. Why don't you? Yeah, you mentioned a
Clam has been great.
Yes.
And I do want to give them kind of an extra shout out because just Clam and Matt Johnson in general, they're so involved in the community, the fishing community, ice fishing community. Like they're in for all of it. Whether it's HHO or Minnesota Made or FAM and us. Soon we approached them and they're all in right away. And that's just I can't give them high enough praise for their willingness to work and promote just fishing in general for everybody.
Support the industry. Yeah.
They work with their quote unquote competitors. You know what I mean? Like it's that I just think that that's a testament to the character that's behind that company.
Absolutely.
So big thanks to them. Glacier, just working.
Thank you, Glacier.
Just knowing Patrick.
Thank you, Glacier, for the paycheck every 2 weeks.
Well, and it's
but I've been able to
absolutely.
peek because I know you and I've talked to you on microphone and off microphone, and I've got to peek behind the curtain of Glacier and the stuff that you've told me about how they operate as a company.
Yep.
Same thing. Like you can just tell that they're the salt of the earth kind of people. It's
Absolutely.
Definitely a business to support, and the fact that they are willing to help us out here too. So huge thanks to them. And then Thorne, obviously, for letting us squat in their building and accommodate, and help us grow. And they're the same thing. Whether it's Minnesota Made or FAM they're super involved in every bit of the fishing community locally here too. So,
big shout out to Kurt and Ben, the owners.
I mean, they've
Fantastic guys.
just,
they sponsored one of Allen's.
they're willing. I mean, they just it's not a hard sell to get these guys to work with you. They want to work with you and promote the community of fishing in general. So, huge thanks to them. So if you're ever in the area, definitely stop by, give them some of your money. Like I've said before, this is my favorite bait shop in Minnesota. I will go out of my way to come here.
I've already planned out. I live 4 hours away from here, and there's been times where I've I'm just going to come down here just for the day, turn and burn trip.
And the turn and burn trip, I find out about it after he posts on it. I'm like, I'm another 10 minutes away, bro. Like, thanks, love you.
Yeah,
too,
but
bye.
I'm coming into the big city, man, and I get all weird and nervous.
Whatever.
I got to get back to the
There's
trees.
people here.
Yeah, humans.
But thanks to all the sponsors. And like I keep saying, man, they have been here since literally day one of this show. A lot of times you have sponsors come and go. Last year we had Bill Cats covers, Sven sleeves. They both sponsored separate segments, and we appreciate that from the bottom of our heart. We appreciate you guys too. Don't forget that. But to keep your three main sponsors the entire time says a lot about those sponsors and that they believe in what you do. I've got to know these guys, and it's not just a transaction. I can come in, see if they're in their office, come in, talk to them a little bit, see how things are going. Cool. All right, man, I'll see you later. Have a good day, get back to work. Matt Johnson, if I need something, whatever it is, like I said, Minnesota Outdoor Adventure Foundation is something I'm on the board of. We send kids and combat wounded kids with, life changing, for the worse, unfortunately, diseases, and then also combat military injured veterans on hunting and fishing adventures. And Clam every year donates to that. They donate a full house, a shack and rods and reels and hats and stuff, and also a cash donation as one of the sponsors. So they are always willing to help out. So it's tough finding good companies that are willing to work with you and believe in what you're doing, and that's why we absolutely appreciate these three so much for helping us out during this. It's just fantastic. So all right, I'll stop gushing there, but share the live stream so you can win some stuff. including. Well, no, this is if you come in. Yeah, you got to come in to win this one. But share the live stream. Oh, we're giving away a rod, by the way, Alan, for the people at home. Did I tell you that? Oh, is that white and blue one?
Hey, welcome to the show,
I thought
brother.
that was
All
the one you were
right.
just showing for the. Oh, well, let me see. Okay, we got a rod to give away. Maybe we'll do a rod of the choosing. I don't know. Whatever. I thought this was for something else you just wanted to show me. Look at that one. Look at that one. Well, here, show it to the camera as much as you can. We're giving this one away, folks. We're giving that one away.
Those are nice fam colors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's like Minnesota Timberwolves colors right there.
Yeah, that too.
Mini
yeah.
Botus.
What is it?
Many same colors.
You got a little
Mini
fish in
Botus.
there? Shut up. Is it a little fish?
I'd have to put my cheaters on.
Oh, yeah, the corners kind of make little tiny fish. Yeah.
Alan, I got a question.
So we're
for
giving
you.
away this rod. All you got to do is share the live stream. This is a 32-inch NCR, which means it's kind of good for everything. It's got a nice soft tip. You can catch panfish. You can hook a nice sized walleye in here too. Very nice rods. I need to have them make me one of these NCRs. But share the live stream. Make sure you change that share, the settings on that share to public, so we see it and you get entered in to win. Share it to groups if you want. I don't think we've had anybody this year kicked out of a group for sharing the live
I was
stream.
going to ask that earlier.
So
if anybody's
get
been
busy,
kicked out
folks.
yet. Yeah.
Typically, there's always at least one person that gets kicked out of a group for sharing. We got to keep that train rolling. But yeah, share. There are people that have been watching this, like Chantel. Chantel is back.
She's back.
She
All right.
might have been watching all day. I don't know. But anyway, she's been watching all day yesterday. She's here now. Was that Chandra?
And she's from Colorado, I think.
Watching early, last year, the year before, the entire time. We see the names. We know who's been watching this the entire time, and even those that either pop in, pop out. We greatly.
I mean, we
greatly
can see who's
appreciate
watching, and then the people that comment. There's a lot of voyeurs.
Yeah.
that watch and don't comment.
Yep. So let us know where you're from, so we can write it down on our list. We're slowly but surely making our way across the country. What? Oh yeah, Kishler wraps are on point.
Anybody watching from the deer stand right now?
Somebody was earlier. That's right. We got. I don't know if I already put this up yet, but all right. Talon says, all right, we'll have to head out, unfortunately. Already spent $120, so you've done a good job, I'd say.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. Let us know if you've bought anything from any of the vendors so far.
Oh, I was just going to ask you.
Alan, just get over in the chair and put the headset
let's
on.
just talk to Alan.
Yeah,
I just got some.
Why not? I'm guessing Dan's in traffic. Yeah, so it is what it is. We're doing our best, but some things, we can't really control. Hello.
Yeah.
All right. That's Alan Kishler, everybody.
There he is.
Wave hi.
Hi.
The man behind the magic.
Magic. I thought you guys were the magic man.
Oh, I was just looking at these rods.
This magic moment.
But
boy.
your thread work is impeccable.
Yeah.
And I was just
Thank you.
curious. It used to be a
I need to
thing
put my
back in the
cheaters
day
on
when
so
I
I
was
can
doing a lot of
appreciate it.
building. I think we might have talked about it before, but have you ever played around with doing any feather inlaying or anything like that?
Actually, I do.
Because I enjoyed
have
it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've got a process that I do it with where I inlay feathers and stuff like that. And actually, believe it or not, I was actually going to do one on that instead of that wrap that I did. I was going to do feathers on it
Yeah.
because I just got some pheasant feathers
Perfect.
that I was going to do like a spray
Mhm.
of them with one going up the center.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do it. And it's kind of it sucks.
It's tedious, but
Yes.
but when you do it that second time, and you've kind of figured out, okay, yeah, I got to completely soak this in color preserve. Then you sit there with a needle and you arrange things how you want. But once it's done and it's sealed up, you're like, wow, totally worth the time to do it. And I was going to say, right across the hallway is a good place to go and get some cool stuff for doing feather inlays
I actually
at the Fly Angler.
So I had a friend of mine that wanted a pink rod with purple feathers.
There you go.
And I went, where in the heck? Guess where I came? Here.
Right
and that was when it was done right below us right here.
Yep.
But I found purple feathers, and then I did a purple and white thread work on it. And I sprayed out both directions, and then up the top of it, on each one of the guides going all the way up, I did a spray of feathers on each one of them also.
Yeah.
But you were talking about doing a needle thing. I should show you how I do it now.
Yeah.
You would be like, oh, that's so much easier.
Oh, I'm sure, because back in the day, feather inlaying was kind of sort of new. I'm talking this like 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you did with a toothpick and just kind of arranged them how you want. You'd soak that feather in color preserve so it'd stick to the blank, and it would also help hold the color. And then, it's soaking wet. And you'd lay it down and move it around. And
here, I'll tell you, use a paintbrush.
do you trim the bristles down then?
Trim the bristles down
so they're stiff. Yeah.
Well, not super. You got to get like I go to darn Walmart and just get those cheap. You get like 30 of them in a pack.
Yeah. Little craft brushes.
Yeah, just little that are purple, blue, pink, whatever. Take and cut it in half.
Mhm.
And so say the bristle's this long.
Yep.
You cut it down in half.
Yep.
And then put color preserve on your rod blank.
Yep.
I'm giving away some secrets here, but put color preserve on your blank. Put the feather down, then color preserve the feather again.
Yep.
And make sure you soak it, like you were saying. You're putting a lot on there, so it actually turns white.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I use U40.
Yep.
Color preserve. They got it downstairs. Thorn Brothers has just about everything that you need for rod building.
Yep.
Come in, talk to Lonnie or Mike or one of those guys. These guys they're willing to work with you. If you want to build rods, they will help you.
Oh yeah.
To how to do it. Little shout out to Thorn Brothers. When I first started, I had no place to go to get supplies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the only place that I could think of was here. I knew that they did it. And I actually started going before they were here when they were down in Columbia Heights.
Yeah.
That's where I started going.
Oh, okay. All
so
right.
that's how long I've been doing this. So, but I came in here and I'm like, I need some feathers, and there they were. And then you color preserve it and you fan it out with that brush, but you got to be careful, because if you're laying it straight down like if you look, most of my wraps, I use a grease pencil to mark the center, because after you find the spline and all that, I line it up and I get a mark on the top and a mark on the bottom, and that's straight down the backbone. And then lay that feather down, and then fan it out this way, fan it out that way, then come back and look at it, because your feather is going to do this.
Yep.
Going up it, depending upon the length of the feather.
Yep.
Let it dry. And it's got to dry fully.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, peel it off, put a different one on.
Yep. Yeah, I've done 360 around the blank using a grizzly hackle.
Mm-hmm.
It's in arranging it. So when I was almost done, it almost looked like a checkerboard that went all the way around the blank. And it took a long time, but when it was done and it was all coated, I was like, dang, that was worth the time.
Yep.
I'm talking a couple hours of just very meticulous work. And then, the next morning pulling off the dryer and you're like, yep, totally worth my time. It was really cool looking stuff.
Yeah. And that's what takes time with a lot of the rods, like the thread work and stuff. My all-time favorite wrap to do, and I'll talk about this tomorrow when I'm on, but
we might not need you to come on tomorrow.
But one of my favorite wraps to do, and Doug, I think you have one, is your dead stick rod, the American flag rod.
I do, and that's the one. I got a little fish off of it. Just a small little 28-inch Lake of the Woods walleye.
Yeah, we watched it come in on the Mega Live,
and it worked perfect. That rod worked absolutely perfect.
I got a video of it, but no sound.
I'm pretty sure that I was actually using 6-pound test. I had 6-pound test on that reel for whatever reason and didn't change it out.
Actually, I think you were. So that's I remember you saying it's only 6-pound test.
Yeah, so it was 6-pound test on a 28-inch. 10-pound, whatever the heck pound it was. It was a fat walleye, and it handled it perfectly. And that's the thing with the dead stick rod. Make sure you get a good one that cushions those blows, those head shakes, and work the drag. I set that drag nice and light, so if it wanted to go, it could go wherever it wanted to. As long as that hook stayed pinned, I had all weekend long to reel that thing in.
And if we could have heard it in the video, you would have heard us saying,
Yeah.
"Take your time.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
all that. We're in a big wheelhouse.
Oh yeah,
We're
we're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere."
Yep.
That's an important tip there, though. Just in general, is taking your time when you're fighting a fish,
Yeah.
ice fishing. You
Yeah.
get a big fish.
Oh, yeah,
and
show the people so that they know it's real. If you guys can see it,
hold it out a little farther,
Oh,
Doug.
wait a minute.
I'm not holding it
I'm
out.
just giving you shit.
My elbows are bent. You can see bend elbows.
Oh, and look, see that red thing down in the
What is
corner?
that weight-shaped bulge in the
Yeah.
stomach?
No, boy.
That's twice, Patrick.
Only one.
Eat it.
Only one. Lake of the Woods walleyes
Why are you
feel like they got lead in their stomach.
Oh, yeah. Watching him bring that thing in was pretty cool. It was just, and I'm sitting there with the camera like this, just going, yeah, that's awesome. Especially getting to see a big fish on a dead stick I made.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be super cool.
And it was like, oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I've always found it really cool when a big fish hits and you're with dudes in the house. How it becomes an instant team sport.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Joey!
Oh,
big
like
shout out,
Joey.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Everything stops.
big
Like,
shout out to Joey for landing the fish because I knew with that light line I wasn't going to try to do the one arm thing, and hey, he was there for
But
me and Alan.
he dove for it twice. Remember,
He did.
the first
He
time
did.
he went down, and he went down, and I'm like, oh no. And all of a sudden you go, I think you said something like, oh, it's got, and then all of a sudden up he came, and
Yep.
then once he got it up, he dropped it.
Yeah, I might have dropped it. That fish was out for 3 to 4 weeks with a concussion.
But it
Miami
swam
would've
away.
started it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it now plays for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've always found that dynamic kind of fun because some of these guys they wouldn't give you $1 if you were starving, but they're more than willing to go shoulder deep into a
Mhm.
frozen lake.
Oh,
to
yeah.
get
And
your
he
fish.
did.
It's like,
he was
what the
right
hell's
down there,
going on
all the
here?
way down.
Oh
and
yeah.
everything cleared out of the way. The
Yep.
whole fish house was cleared out,
Yep.
and it was like I just sat back and I'm like, I'm gonna stay out of the way. These guys got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I took that the rod out of the tip down, and I was just like, all right, guys, get stuff out of the way, get the transducer out of the way, get this thing out of the way. So it's just me and the hole, and let me do my work. And Joey's right there. He goes, is there a discount code for P3? Yes, Jason. It's just SmackDown.
Just
Gets you 15% off. But Joey, it was a blast watching it on live, and it was great. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun though, but
Cool
yeah,
stuff.
nothing like bringing up a big fish through an ice hole. I think
Well, and then
that's-
I think
especially when you're not expecting it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. I think you went home the next day.
I don't know, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was like the next day or something like that. And you sat up in the front and he was like, I don't even need the fish anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I got my
I'm good.
personal best.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And you even said you were this close to going, should it come home with me or shouldn't I?
No,
And we-
that one my goal with a walleye, and it'll probably just get replica, but is a 30-incher.
Yeah. Same.
That's a 30-incher
Yeah.
is where
Well-
if I ever do another taxidermy bill, it'll be a 30-inch walleye.
the next day, well, 2 days later, I think it was 2 days later or 3 days later, something like that. Because I was there for 10 days, I think. 9 days, 10 days. It was like the next day or 2 days later or something like that. Once you guys all left, my other buddy showed up, and again, watching on that, and it's Joey's Mega Live. He's got that Mega Live.
he's got the Hummingbird live. Yeah.
Hummingbird Live.
Yep.
And we had that set up, which was it was awesome watching it. We had the transducer or the crystal on this side of the house, watching front to back of the house, but you could still see it on this side.
Yeah.
And then we had it over there, so when I was sitting in the back, I could see the screen and watch TV at
Yeah.
the same time. Yeah, and it's
Well-
pretty comfy in the house.
Well, like Joey's saying, the big pout that we saw on that thing.
no,
the
the sturgeon.
you
weren't there for the
That was
sturgeon.
later. No,
Yeah.
but no, we're all sitting there BSing. I don't know, probably podcasting that didn't get aired because a bunch of drunk fishermen. And not, but anyway, so we're sitting there and we look over and we're like, oh, that's a big mark. And the thing comes up because we had the bait higher up, and this thing comes up and then it turns. It was so wide, and you could see. This is where these lives and front-facing sonars are incredible, and just the technology period. You could see the outline of this thing, and it was like, that's a giant pout. And then shortly after, I caught that big walleye. And when I first hooked into it, we were like, is this
The pout.
that pout?
Oh, sure.
We didn't know until we got it up and actually saw the when the eyeball cleared the bottom of the hole. I was like, "Oh, that's a big walleye. That's a big
Well,
walleye."
and that's where the patience really kicks in. Like once you get that fish up to the ice,
yeah,
that's
Calm
where
the heart
stuff
rate.
can go sideways real quick.
yep.
You might think that thing's done,
Yeah, that's
you
a whole
know,
different gear.
but it's
One thing that was cool though was that, like I was saying, after you left and those
Yep.
other guys showed up, we kept watching that Mega Live, and I had a sturgeon that come through, and it was suspended in the water column. Which, first of all, I thought, what is it doing way up there? But when it came through on that graph on the hummingbird, you could see the tip of the tail, the fins, the whole entire fish, and I don't know what size screen that he had. Was that a 9?
No, this is a 10 or a 12. It's one
Okay.
of the two. It's pretty big.
He'll probably chime in, but when it came through, we could actually it almost filled from one side of the graph to the other side of the graph when it came under the house, and I'm like, that is a big sturgeon.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Megalodon.
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow. That night, so my buddy
You don't
Greg
want
is
to. You
sitting
don't
here.
want to hook into that in the wheelhouse because it's not coming up the hole.
No,
That's when you try
we
to
would
break
have never
off.
got that thing.
Yeah.
in.
You get it up to where you can see it, and then just cut the line, and go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
close
kinda
enough.
good
If I was in
to
a
fight
boat,
those things
that's
on
good.
light tackle for hours on end. It's not
Oh,
good
yeah.
for the fish.
well, wasn't there that one guy that
Yeah, that
he
went
was live for
and-
like 18 hours or something?
Yeah, and that you just don't.
Yeah,
I
I
recommend
mean,
you don't
No,
do that
just
because
cut
it
it.
just stresses them fish out.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
they're
not
big.
good for 'em.
They're hardy fish, but they do reach a
I
point to
mean,
where
I
they're
feel
fighting
like if
for
he
hours.
fought for 18 hours, he's probably,
He's tired.
yeah, but a 2-hour fight wouldn't have done nothing to him.
No,
Yeah.
probably not. I mean, half the fight with a sturgeon is just getting it up off the bottom because I swear they can just suction themselves to the bottom.
Mhm. It's
But-
almost like they can bury in.
Yeah.
But then after that night, after that sturgeon come through, we had I was watching the graph again, the hummingbird, and I'm like, oh, look at that fish. And we just like what with your fish, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's a big fish. And I looked up front, and Paul's up front, and I go, Paul, you gonna catch that fish? He goes, I don't know. And he jigs a little bit, and wham, it hit. And we're like, game on, He sets the hook, he goes 2 cranks, popped off.
Oh,
Reels up real quick, puts another minnow on, dropped right back down. That fish came straight back in,
Oh,
come right back in, boom. And I got a picture of that one I could show you. But this was, a little while later, that same trip, 29 3/4.
This had to outdo me. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And
still not a 30 though. So
No, it's not. No.
Paul's a big fish magnet. Wherever he goes, he always catches a big one.
that's what'll happen to me too. Like I have 30 in my mind for something I'll get a replica of, and I'll catch like a 29 7/8 or something. Then I have a moral quandary.
Yeah, I've never caught a 15-inch crappie. It's 14 and 7/8.
There's the big one.
Oh yeah, it's good fish. Yeah, show the camera.
This was the
It's
big
bragging
one.
time. Hopefully everybody can see it. It's a good
Yeah, you
fish.
can see it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
one.
that
Yep.
thing
You
was
the head on that thing.
You
Good
yeah.
Lord.
Clark.
Yep.
That's the thing with those big walleyes. The head is always, you're just like, what
Yeah.
is this thing?
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed, we were talking about Lake of the Woods. Those Lake of the Woods walleyes, they're just built. They're just stocky.
Good eats in that
Lake of the Woods
Oh,
walleyes
yeah.
are the meanest fish that there are. Like they're angry, mean, mad,
Yeah.
want to bite you fish. they're horrible. JS says had a sturgeon on the live scope camp under the wheelhouse out of Swift Ditch on Lake of the Woods last winter. Shut down all other fish biting for over 24 hours. No bueno. So it just came over and was like, sorry boys. Thanks
I
for the
own
shade,
this.
but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
hang out underneath there. It's weird that like a sturgeon would shut down fishing. It's not like a pike or a muskie that scares everything away because other fish think it's going to eat it. I mean, sturgeon aren't eating other fish really, unless it's
Not
dead
live
and
ones
small.
generally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's weird that a sturgeon would shut down fishing.
Yeah,
I don't know. If I was a 9-inch sauger, I probably wouldn't want to hang out with it.
Exactly.
Just regardless.
Would they eat a sauger like that? I suppose
They might try. I was one of them Bass Pro tanks. There was a sturgeon in there, and it was following around like a bluegill or something. I can't remember now, but it was like legitimately following it around.
You hear how do you think people accidentally catch them through the ice? They're not laying things on the bottom. They're jigging actively, and they'll catch them in the mouth.
Mhm.
Just like suckers. Your red horse. They'll actively hit a jig.
And one thing up there too, a lot of times you'll get them by the river or next to the river.
Yep.
And we weren't even close to the river. We were 18 miles out, I think it was.
You guys want
And which is pretty impressive as far as where we were at. And they roam all over that lake, but a lot of times you'll get them by the river or on the borderline. I fished Lake of the Woods enough that I know kind of some of the places out there. And right out front, you get out in that now 22 to 28 feet of water. I think it's not really a break line, but if you look on your graph, it'll show like a contour line. And I got a spot where it just a little indent on it does this. And if you sit right in there, it comes up a little bit and like a foot or two. And for some reason, we've always caught sturgeon there.
Yeah. Oh, Lake of the Woods is fun. I love fishing the river. I have never ice fished it with Crafty. I've always just done the boat thing, and you just set the hook, and you don't know. It could be a big walleye of a lifetime, a sturgeon. I caught like 3.5 pound smallmouth, and not where you would normally catch smallmouth. I've dumped big crappies. We've caught moon eyes, bullheads.
Are there
pike.
are there gold eyes up there too?
No, I have not seen any gold eyes. Just moon eyes.
I haven't caught either, so they're on my list.
What did you say your biggest crappie was?
14 and 7/8. I've never caught a 15.
Yeah, because when the minnows start running, the shiners start, emerald shiners, that's what they got up there.
Yep.
But when they start running the river, I don't know if I shouldn't say this, but you can sit in front of some of the docks, resort
I've heard.
docks.
Yep.
All right. And I don't want to give too much away, but you can a lot of times sit there. So I was
said too much.
The walleye fishing and the sturgeon fishing up there is such a distraction.
Yeah.
Like I've talked with Crafty about, hey man, we should come up here and fish in 4 Mile Bay here and chuck spinner baits. No, he goes, yeah, nobody does it. And there's your best crack at a 20-pound northern. He said you probably get a couple of them in a day. Nobody really fishes them.
I've actually, if you come out of the Wheelers Point boat launch, turn to the right, and you're going upriver.
Yep.
You get past Adrian's, there's Adrian Sportsman's, and then there's a weed bed right there.
Yep.
Throw cranks right in front of that weed bed.
Yep.
You'll get pike.
Yeah. It's just a fun place to go and set the hook.
Even ice fishing. So, everybody's, and most people know if they go up to Lake Woods that the walleye season's open later than the normal state shuts down. You can go up there and you can still catch walleyes legally into April, right? Well, there's a few times late April, there's still fishable ice up there, and northerns are continuous.
Yeah.
People have, if they're not done ice fishing, go to Lake of the Woods. The pike season's still open. Get up there, run some tip ups or jig in some more of the shallower water.
The tip up season is quite popular, but like when it's open water time, you just don't see people chucking baits for big pike.
And there are some gigantes up there too.
Yes, there is.
Make sure we got Sven sleeves. He's setting up. We'll get him in. Dan will be here later. He is stuck in traffic and all sorts of stuff, so it's going to be an interesting little bit of time here.
That Highway 10 up there is
whenever he gets here, we'll fit him in between everybody, and we'll figure it out. But 45 minutes
from
the Ramsey show.
Oh my God!
And again, I can show you a way how to get back quicker.
Hey, you should probably, if you get a chance, you want to do us a favor and let the guys from Undercover know that, so they know to. Okay, cool. So they know to leave a little earlier. So, all right. Okay. All right. Yeah. It is what it is. Hey, if people are showing up, we're getting everybody in at some point. Thank you all for hanging around and listening to us talk. So, continue on with whatever you guys were talking about.
Well,
pike.
Yeah. Well, and I was talking about those crappies. My son and I were up there Labor Day weekend. and for 3-4 days or something like that. And the wind blew. Obviously, you got to have a backup, because if you can't get out on the darn lake, there's no sense in going out there and beating the brains out. We stayed inside, just inside the river, and I went, well, I know there's crappies up here. Let's try that. We found a spot that there was crappies, and I got one that was probably close to 16 inches.
Nice.
And of course, it was the only one I got. I mean, we had little tiny ones, but it was like, oh, what do I do? Do I eat it? Do I throw it back? What do I do? Well, we already had fish to clean, you know, walleyes and saugers. And I went, well, it went home.
Sure.
Good eating. Yeah. Well, actually, we ate them up there because we had a fish fry. We were there for like 4 days. Joey actually came up. Joey Hagman. He came up later on. We went out. Now, this is how amazing this lake is. We went out and we went all the way across. It was rough in the morning, but coming back, it was like a sheet of glass. It was, I mean, running wide open, you know. We went all the way up to the islands. So we were all the way up by Little Oak.
Yep.
So I don't know if you're familiar with it, but we were up by Little Oak, and the 2 days before, I had found a spot up there that we were just nailing them and pulling spinners. And I love to pull spinners. And spinners and crawlers and spinners, believe it or not, spinners and frozen minnows, And we had this hot spot, and every time that we came through there, it was bam, 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 bam. We went up there in the island, started fishing at 8:00. We were on our way back in at 12, or sorry, not 8:00. Started fishing at 9 and was on our way back in by 12:15. We were done, limited out for 3 guys, and we kept nothing under 16 inches.
Nice.
And my favorite fish to eat is a 16 to 17. Right there. I hate those big ones. I like those 16, 17.
Yeah, 17 inches. Yeah, 16,
All right.
17.
I'm going to sign off.
Yeah, give him the headset so he can sell some stuff. We got a vendor. Yay. Yep. All right. There you go. You ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right. Let me get this off the face here, and boom. Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good.
How are you doing?
45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yikes.
Yeah. I told Sean I had 20,
You're here.
but they got the Anoka parade,
Oh,
the Halloween parade going on.
oh, God. Is everything working against us?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for making the trip. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sven Sleeve.
Yep.
Have at it.
Okay. So I'm Corey with Sven Sleeve. This is our 4th year in business. It's been a pretty wild ride. We've had some big changes this year, not with our sleeve side, but we've purchased another business. We're actually in discussions right now with purchasing another business. So at some point this season. So we're just in the talk phase right now. So we'll have something probably to share here within the next possibly 2 weeks.
Nice.
But it won't really take place until after ice season. So
Okay.
So obviously we are a sleeve manufacturer. So we're one of 3 different companies that are out there that make sleeves. We have one main feature that's significantly different than anybody else that's out there. So as you can see here, this is our wheelhouse sleeve. It's flush to the top of this floor. So when you're walking throughout your wheelhouse, you don't have to worry about stubbing your toe, kicking it off the hole or anything like that. It's very strong. It's made out of Lexan. I've lifted if you go on our YouTube page, I have a video where I lifted a 7,000 pound race trailer off of my truck on top of one of our covers. So without it snapping. So that's roughly, if you do the 10% rule, about 700 pounds of tongue weight.
Wow.
So
that'll hold me.
Yeah.
That'll hold me.
Yep. So the big thing with our wheelhouse sleeves is they are universal. So there's 2 floor ring manufacturers. There's Fish Hole Buddy, which is kind of mostly Ice Castle, but they have kind of snuck into the glaciers this year, from what I understand. So there are some glaciers that do have fish hole buddies. So we used to always say if you have ice castle, it's this. If you have everybody else, it's catch cover.
Mhm.
But fish hole buddy had to, I think, kind of slid in the glacier a little bit. Just with-
temporarily.
Yep.
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 There was it was a supply chain
Yep.
issue.
Yep. Yeah, they actually had contacted us last year if we made travel covers too.
Yep.
Because there was kind of just a shortage, kind of all over the board.
Yep.
So, so we have two that we sell. We have the glow, and then we have black. We don't sell a white. It's a question that we get often. We have a standard 9-inch height. We don't make an 18-inch just because everything's going to crank down. No, you don't really see anybody doing your homemade campers anymore. We do have some remnants left over where you can take the sleeve, and then like we have the bottom 3 inches of these sleeves for something I tried here a couple years ago. We've had people buy those to extend it.
Okay.
Otherwise, what we tell people that have conversions that want our sleeves is just take a 5-gallon bucket, cut the bottom off of it, and then just our sleeve slides right into the bucket.
Oh,
So
there you go.
that gives you that 18 inches if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
For the Suburbans, like we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is a catch cover sleeve right here, or flooring right here. So our sleeves naturally fit catch cover. So you just plop it right in there. Fits nice and tight, doesn't wiggle. If you have something with a fish hole buddy in the house, what we've done is if you look on the glow here, I have these black clips. These clips clip on very tight. You can't really even pull them off. So there's 4. They come in sets of 4, and that widens our sleeve out so that it fits the fish hole buddies.
Nice.
So we always say if you ever switch houses, you don't have to buy another set of sleeves, which maybe sounds a little contradictory. We want you to buy more sleeves because you got a different house, but
Well, they just sell the next guy.
that's usually what happens
because
because sometimes they've cut them for their specific house. You have the blockers, the non-blockers. That brings up a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference there. Is ours is universal, so it's a lot cheaper to do 1 mold versus 2 molds.
Yep.
Those types of things. So
Yep.
This is our, like I said, this is our 3rd year with the wheelhouse model. I want to guess year to date we've probably sold over 20,000 sleeves.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's been
Nice.
it's
Awesome.
one of those things we thought we'd do a couple thousand a year and be happy.
You guys caught lightning in a bottle with what all went
Yeah.
down the last couple of years. You
Yep.
started and you came out with a good product
Yeah.
that people liked, and next thing you know, it's everybody wanted it because everybody
Yeah.
was buying wheelhouses and this
Yeah.
and that, and apparently
Yeah.
everybody's just won the lottery too.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't
the $70,000 fish houses hasn't scared anybody away. it
know.
doesn't seem,
no,
you know.
yeah,
So so then on our sleeves, I'll give them a little plug, but I know they're going to follow us up here. So
Yep.
In this sleeve here, we have an undercover guide. So you can see that's in the rattle reel right there. What they have is you drill a hole in the side here, and then that just clips inside there.
Okay.
So
it's like just an inch hole or something like that.
yep, it's just a
Okay.
1-inch hole, and then
Easy enough.
it's when you have the cover on here, everything's underneath here. You can put it at different heights. It locks in as well.
Yep.
Up like that. But they'll talk about it more when they're
Yeah,
on
let's
here.
let's not blow the next segment too. We're already
Yeah.
down one guy,
Yeah.
although he can take up some of their time too. I suppose.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
So then, just an alternative to that, this is a great product. We use this in our house, but we also use this setup. So this is Ultimate Outdoors. So they have a rigid bracket that you can put onto the cover. So in our house, this is how I'll fish at night. I'll leave the cover or the rattle reel up so I can hear it a little bit better.
Yep.
And then at night or during the day, because you got kids, I'll just flip it right upside down.
Yeah.
So our cover, you don't have to detach it to flip the cover over.
Yep.
So
Yep. But you still got the slot in there and everything, so you can fish through it
Yep.
and move the line. And all
Yep.
that good
So
stuff.
on the cover, it's got these notches here. Those are all for your electronics, for your cameras, transducer cable, stuff like that. And then like here, this is your fishing line. So you can keep the nice thing with having these notches, it separates your line for your transducers. So you don't have to worry about them getting tangled up. The other common question we get is, that's a lot of surface on top of a hole. Doesn't your hole freeze over? So what we found is if you just buy like in our house, we have like those work vans, like the DeWalt Milwaukee vans, or like at Menards, they have like these Honeybeam or Sunbeam. I don't know what they're called. Just stick one of those on your floor. So we have a 24-inch wheelhouse. Just put that on the floor and it'll keep all the holes open. Just that little bit of circulation on the floor is going to keep your holes open. We've been out what was it, like 3 years ago when we had that polar vortex?
Yeah.
So we were out for 4 days in that weather. We didn't have to clean out one hole.
Nice.
You can't stop a hole from shrinking because that all comes from the top or from the
Mhm.
bottom up. So,
Yep,
but
yep.
you can prevent the skimming on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so then our other product, this was our first product that we came out with 4 years ago. This is for your portables. So ice capping is becoming more popular. I think we talked about that quite a bit last year. So we've had the black one all 4 years, and then we brought this back this year. So this is our glow in the dark. So if you go on our Facebook page, I got a picture of this, how bright it is. So these fit to an 8 to a 10-inch hole. So then the sleeve depth is 4 inches. So we always say if you stick this in the hole and you don't see ice, you're probably not on safe ice. So
True. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I
so-
would say that's true.
So ice safety is kind of it's a big part of our product. So these are just another safety mechanism. You know, we've had parents say, well, you know, it's just a rite of passage for my kid to step on a hole and
Break his
Yeah,
ankle and
right.
cost you a bunch of money in
Right.
doctor bills.
Well,
Okay. Thanks, Mom.
right. When do kids step on the hole?
Never.
Right when you start.
Yeah,
Oh, of course.
right
Oh,
away.
yeah.
So
Right
you're
away.
you're going home unless
Yeah.
you brought spare boots, you know, and stuff like that. So
Yep.
But one thing that I like with it, so as you can see here, it's the same deal. Our cover is recessed in there. It sits flush. It's got the same notches for your electronics. Got your line slot. The big thing too with both of our covers, this hole is big enough for most of your bobbers that you're using, and most of your tackle. So you can take your bait in and out of here.
Okay.
You hope you're not just pulling bait through there. You know, obviously you don't want to take a fish and pull it through that hole. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
know, it's a
Well,
small,
the
that's a
sleeve
small
will-
fish.
The sleeve will come up with the bait with the fish though.
Yep.
So you're good.
Yep. So some people, I mean, I've done it where I've actually had a fish on here and I just use the fish to pull the cover off. You know, but
Yep.
that's usually because that's a fish that you don't want to catch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, just a little.
But yeah, you just for like when I'm in our portable, I just my wife and I do it differently. My way is the correct way. So I kneel down on the ice. I take the cover off and then set the hook. She sets the hook
and then takes the cover out.
and then asks me to take the cover off.
yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I won't say either of you are right or wrong. You're right out there.
So I mean that's and we've had people too where they're fishing out with their kids and what they've done is they'll take a rope and tie it around.
Oh, yeah.
So then when their kid catches a fish, they just yank the cover
pull
right
it.
off.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've got a set of those. I've got 2 or 4. I can't remember what I bought. I might have just bought 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because I do the ice camping thing,
Mhm.
and I've always got one hole directly over the center. Because in my resort, I have my bed on one side or chair during the day, and my table on the other side. So I have one hole in the middle, and then one on one open side for
Yeah.
a rattle reel. So what I did is I've got the foam puzzle floor, and I took one and I custom cut a hole
Mhm.
where that will slide right into there. So that is that's the middle square in my setup is that
Yep.
square with the hole in it, with the sleeve in it and the cover on it. So now at night, I'm always, even though I make sure that, okay, I'm putting everything up and away and nothing can fall in, I'm always paranoid of something falling in while I'm sleeping or getting up and stumbling and I have a wet foot.
Yep.
But now I've got that set up so I don't have to worry about that. And it's great.
And then so with our portable version, so this is a small cover. You can kind of see it's a little bit darker there. Then we have the clear cover.
Now let's get into that argument.
Yeah,
clear or dark.
So
Dark.
I'll say smoke catches more fish,
It
but
does. It's
Shauna will say it doesn't.
It's
So-
smoke, Shauna.
Yeah.
Shauna, smoke.
So the purpose of smoked is mostly if you're fishing shallow water with panfish, just another light mechanism, control
Yeah.
the light going down the hole. But this is a setup that I showed last year. This is an alternative to a dead stick.
Yeah.
So you can use a rattle reel, put it on your hole. Nice for ice camping as well. You know, we can use all rattle reels at night, and that'll wake you up. You know,
Son of a gun.
you're not going to hear your rod going down the hole.
Yeah.
So
So on the small,
I didn't even think of that with the small one because you showed us that with the big one, last year and whatnot. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the same thing, just smaller. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
when you
Add to cart.
when you
Wallet
go to
goes on to table.
do you the portable sleeves? Do you sell those individually or are they 2-packs?
Yep.
or-
So everything is sold individually.
Okay.
We do get a lot of questions. Do you do bundle packaging? No, because for like the wheelhouse, you're buying 6 or 8 anyways.
Right.
On these ones, it's different. So at the shows, we do pack discounts. So if you buy 4, so if you come see us at the Northeast show this weekend, or pretty much on the other shows, you're going to get a pretty good deal on 4. So the black is $30, and then the glow is I can't remember, 40 or 45. I don't remember.
Okay.
I know it's if you buy 4 the blacks, it's 4 for $100. And then if you buy 4 of the glows, it's $130. It's like 25-30% off if you buy 4 of them.
I would be the guy that would just want one.
Yep.
I do a lot of pan fishing, and that light line, sometimes you're trying to send that jig down, and it comes up and it gets wrapped up in the little bits of snow and ice and slush up
Yep.
there, and you think you're down, and you're like, where's all this slack line? Well, it's hooked up on a little piece of
Yep.
ice or something. And
Yep.
I've thought about picking up one of those, but I didn't know if they were sold in like minimums of 2 packs
Yep.
or something like that.
Yep.
That'd be nice for that.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, the glow we brought back this year. The main thing with manufacturing is we have to produce X amount of these per year,
Mhm.
and glow is very expensive to manufacture. So the glow regular price for the wheelhouse is $60, and then the black is $45. That $15 markup doesn't even cover the material cost.
Wow.
That's so people always say, oh, you're just selling it more because it's glow. No,
it literally costs that much more.
Well,
Yeah.
you're adding a phosphorescence.
Yeah.
That isn't free.
yeah.
There's a
So it makes
microphone
sense.
right there.
There's a microphone.
Guest
Alan.
microphone for questions. Or yell.
Yep. So we don't sell anything individually. So the covers go with the sleeve.
Oh, okay.
The reason is so like with our wheelhouse sleeve, we had to make our own custom sleeve. So it's got a smaller opening up on the top, and then we had to design the cover to fit that. So if you were to take, one of the other 2 cover manufacturers in the industry, they're not going to fit in here, just because the top is, narrower. The bottom, however, is still the same. It's 10.5 inches, so it still works with your 10-inch augers.
Mhm.
And then if you cut the sleeves a little bit, you'll get a little bit wider. But the big difference with our sleeves compared to the Fish Hole Buddy and catch cover ones is people always say, well, just cut them in half and then you can drop the insert in there. Ours doesn't work that way because this bevel is less, because this opening up on top is less.
Okay.
And in order to maintain that 10.5 inch opening on the bottom, you have to sacrifice that bevel.
Yeah.
So, but we kept on, we did, our manufacturer was nice enough our first season to do a test run of these. Sales went okay. They weren't, and the price point is a little tough for people. I mean, it's $45.
Yeah.
But as ice camping was getting more and more popular, especially the last 2 years, do I buy a $500, $1,000 portable, or do I buy a $60,000-$70,000 fish house?
Yeah.
So with ice camping becoming more popular, we're getting more and more requests for our gold or our glow to come back out. So we did decide to do a run this year. It doesn't mean that we're not going to do it next year. It's just that we have to produce X amount per year, and it's cost prohibitive, to be honest with you, to produce them.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I get it, but are we going to sell enough? And it's a lot of money.
Yep. And then the big thing with the portable sleeves is these work for an 8 to a 10-inch hole. So the sleeve part itself works for your 8-inch hole, and then the collar allows you to use it on a 10-inch hole.
Okay.
So obviously, if you stick it in a 10-inch hole, there's going to be some slop there. It does shrink a 10 down to an 8. But to me, if you're portable fishing, why are you using a 10-inch auger?
Right.
I mean,
I guess if you have a wheelhouse and you only
lake
want
trout,
yeah,
type of thing.
Yeah.
But
for your average fisherman,
Yeah.
it's not really a necessity. So
I have the 8-inch and it works just fine.
Yeah.
It sits
I mean,
down in there. And,
I have an 8 and a 10.
Yep.
But I mean, even our wheelhouse, we use 8 most.
yeah.
of
And
the
if you
time.
do the portable flooring like I do, and you cut one to fit that,
Yeah.
there's no slop at all.
Yep.
So it doesn't.
Yeah, and with the ice camping, it's kind of crazy. You see all if you look on like IFM and all the other pages, the elaborate plans like people lay out,
Oh,
the
yeah.
floors. That's all planned out. It's all pre-cut. And
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually about time that I lay everything out and make sure everything's where I want it and make my adjustments now, so I'm not, getting out there and going, oh, that's right, I wish I would have done that, and then I never end up doing it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
I got quite a few things to do after the show's over, but now I have time. So
Yep. And then the big thing with our sleeve stuff is what we get a lot of questions on cutting, and stuff like that. What I suggest people do is if you go, we have a YouTube channel. I probably got about 20, 30 videos on there. Shows you how to pack a hole properly, how to cut the sleeve, use a hole saw or use a table saw. You can use a jigsaw if you want it to look kind of funky, but those jigsaws really vibrate it. People have used TID snips, but table saw works the best. I have like 3 different videos on different how to accommodate for different frames. If you block, what we just tell people to do is block to whatever your height is that you need. So if you have a 6-inch frame, it's probably a 2x4. If it's a 4-inch frame, it's probably a 4x4.
Yep.
Yep.
Chris Erickson's asking, do they freeze into the portable holes? No, I haven't had a problem with that at all. I even used it before I custom cut that one piece of foam. I just had it sitting on the ice. And no, I mean, maybe before you go to bed, make sure that the ice is off of the top and it can't freeze up and over, but they're pretty darn durable. You could probably chip one out of the ice if you need
so
to.
What we did is like our first season, we did all that testing. We would fish in our portable. If you think of it, when you're in a portable, it's heated.
Yeah. In a small area that actually gets hot and the floor melts.
Yeah. So when you're sitting there in your t-shirt and shorts, you shouldn't have to worry about, that sleep. But we've left them outside just for testing, and, we've left it outside for 12 hours and, it still comes up. But we say if it does, this part is smooth enough, if the hole starts to encroach, our theory is that the ice will actually push this up a little bit.
Okay.
The big thing is, so K-Drill has kind of changed their measurements on their bits.
Yeah, they're like,
so their 8-inch was actually 7.5. But now. So if you have a K-Drill, the older style, that's really 7.5. What we tell people is just take it and round out the top of the hole a little bit, and then this will fit better.
Okay.
So it is tight on this on the old K-Drills. Some people, what they do is, they'll put slush around the top and they'll just put that on top of it as well. But if you drill in an 8-inch hole straight enough, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Because everybody drills a straight hole down the ice.
Yeah. Have you ever been fishing with me? Yeah.
So that's our sleeves. So
yep.
And then the other thing is, so back in the spring, we purchased another business called Measure and Release. So he's been around for 20 years. His name was George Martin. You'll probably see him if you come to the Blaine show. He'll be there with us. I don't think St. Paul he'll come. He's 82, 83 now, and he just had back surgery this spring, and it was time for him to retire. And we had approached him about 3 years ago. He's a client with my other business, and he actually already said, "No, I already got 2 buyers." And last fall, he came into my office and said, "I really love what you guys have done with Sven's sleeve. I feel you guys are going to put your heart into my product, and it's not going to just go." On someone's shelf. He had a couple of distributors that were looking at it, and so he approached us and we purchased that business. So he has six different products. So I'll start with the cheapest. So he's got we got these rulers. These aren't just your normal sticker stuff. So these are this is a 60-inch, and then this is a 40-inch. And a backstory to his product is he had a little encounter with the DNR one year. So a lot of the stuff that I'll talk about is
I think I know where you're going to go with this, and this will help some people out, I think.
So the thing that if you guys use these tapes or any other tape that's out there, when you stick them on your boat, on the counter, warehouse, what happens with a material like this when you stick it on down there? It stretches. It does not keep that measurement. So the material that these are made out of, it prevents the stretching and it prevents the shrinkage from sun exposure.
So your 27 3/4 inch fish is actually 27 3/4 inch, not 28.
Correct. So, and that's, that wasn't from this product. It's one of the other products I'll touch on in a second, but it's a cheaper alternative, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive than your other stick-on rulers that are out there, but it's the material that it's made out of, that kind of differentiates that. And then we have 2 bump boards. We have a 30-inch bump board and then a 60-inch bump board. These are more for the common things that you see out there. The 30-inch, you put the fish head here and you run your tail. It's a standard bump board. And then this is the one that confused us at first, and it still confuses bait stores to this day. So this is a 60-inch bump board. And one nice thing that's nice about this is if people have a 48 inch or a 60 inch bump board, that thing is 60 inches
Takes
long.
up a lot of room.
You know, so this is 33 inches by itself, and then let's say you catch a 48 inch northern. So I don't know if you can see in the camera here or not. See how that's at 48 right here? That's how you know you have a 48 inch fish. You put the head here, and then you bring the tail here. So when the tail gets to the end here, wherever your line is right here, that's how you know how long the line or how long the
It
fish
just
is.
goes,
So
that
the-
secondary piece
hold
goes
it up.
backwards.
Hold it up a little bit closer. Maybe there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like right here.
Oh, so it measures it. Yeah, it's going backwards kind of type of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a bait store up in Brainerd call us. We actually happened to be up there because we had a shear, and he called us and he goes, "All your numbers are on backwards." And we're looking at it, and we didn't go over the stuff with George. We're like, okay, it's a 60-inch butt board. He extended out to 60 inches and stick it on there. And so Sean and I are talking. We're like, I don't know, they're all on backwards.
We're like, we got a big problem there.
Yeah,
Call him up and go, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot to explain this
Yeah.
to you."
Yeah. So then I went up to the bait store and stopped in and showed it to him, and we both felt like idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
That's actually pretty darn genius.
Yeah.
I mean, because now instead of having one that folds up and this and that, it just slides out and
Yep.
put the fish on there,
Yep.
pull it out till it's to the end, and and look at that's a cool idea.
Yep. And then these two are the most popular products. This is a 20-inch fish cradle, and then this is a 30-inch fish cradle. After we bought the business, we tried to make a modification to it, which didn't work out. A common complaint, or not a complaint, but a recommendation would be, if you look in here, you can see the rulers built into there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see the numbers a little bit. So like what I do up on Red Lake is at the 17-inch mark, I take a black Sharpie, draw a line there.
Yep.
Up on Mille Lacs, depending on if they're doing 21 or 22.
Yeah, or 20 and
Yeah.
3/8,
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah. So I'll just draw.
Sounds like
yeah.
after a few years, you're gonna have a lot of marks
Yeah,
on there.
yeah. So on all the lakes that we fish, I draw the mark on that line. Some people they'll go through and color with a marker, but we tried our damnedest to get it to emboss it.
Yeah.
Our manufacturer was kind enough. They actually made a bunch of different tools to try it. We just couldn't get a consistent, because it's just the sides are it's too high.
Yeah.
You know.
So there's another board out there very similar. Talk about durability and all that stuff, because that's one of the things with that board. It's super durable and whatnot. So
So these are made out of like a high density plastic. Shauna knows the name off the top of my head. I don't remember it, but you can.
Oh shit.
So you can twist it. It's not going to break. If you got a fish, the nice thing with the cradles versus the bump boards is you stick a fish in here and they're happy.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there. They don't flop around.
Yeah. Well, I've got a metal one.
Yeah.
From another company that used to be around. Don't know if they are anymore.
Yeah.
But in the cold, what happens when you put cold metal and a watery fish?
Right.
It freezes.
Yep.
So.
And some people will use this. They'll actually use this to clean out their holes.
Oh yeah.
Shauna hates it when I tell this story every time, but so if you're out in a boat, as we get older, it's harder to pee. So
you can use it as a funnel.
Pee sled.
So
if it works, it works.
So you
Mitch, fire up the laser. We're about to get that.
So measure and release has a new meaning.
Yeah.
So we actually had a lady.
Do you make a bigger version? Asking for a friend.
Well,
Yeah, you
just
definitely are.
Killed the vibe right there.
Yeah, you definitely are. Mitch Howell's asking, I missed if this was mentioned. Is the text and lines red or are they black so you can read? They're the same color. It's all the same color. That's why he takes the marker and marks where like the limits would be.
Yeah. So the ruler is, it's all manufactured in the print when it's molded.
Up. There you go.
Tilt.
There you go.
There.
Hopefully you all can see it. But yeah, it's just the same color. It's molded in there.
Yep. And we've considered we've had a request for maybe making the red one in a black. The black might actually show a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it's something we're thinking about possibly in the future.
Because the other company, they got it down, but it's not cheap. Like it was a process.
Yep.
So. And they're not cheap boards either.
Yep.
So
and actually, you'll see a lot of DNR use these.
Lynn?
Yep.
Yep. So the story of the DNR is he caught a walleye and it ended up being too short.
Oh no.
So he had someone else's stuff obviously, and
Yep.
I think it was probably just the tape, and I think it was actually a half inch short.
Yep.
The DNR officer came in and measured the fish, and he went home, and actually what he did is he cut a gutter up, and that's what he did first.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
made a prototype
And then
out
just
of a gutter.
marked the lines. Yeah.
Yep. And then he did this.
So,
So I guess
so you're saying the old Bud Light walleye tape measure I have stuck on the side of my old boat is probably not
Probably not
accurate?
great. Probably,
Okay.
you
All
know.
right.
But
Good thing I got rid of that boat. Good
Yeah.
luck, brother-in-law.
Right. And if you measured it with a metal tape measure, that might not be the best idea, because you've seen some of those pictures with the metal tape measures.
Yeah.
How the end is not correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, if you probably put it up there, it's gonna not
Yeah.
gonna fit. So, back to the sleeves real quick. We do have a cover bag too. This fits up to, if I remember right, 12 or 18 covers. I don't remember.
Okay.
You can use as a hot dish holder or a pie holder too.
There you go.
So,
It's hot dish, not casserole here.
yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
our website is svensleeve.net. So all the bump boards and that, and then the cradles. So I know the Thorn Brothers does sell the measure and release stuff here. They don't carry the Sven sleeve stuff. The wheelhouse sleeves and they're a hard store for like a smaller sporting goods store for your bait stores. So we're starting to see more and more demand as our popularity has grown. But we're pretty much, for the wheelhouse, you can pretty much find them at any dealership. We're in Cabela's. But yeah, and then all this stuff you can find pretty much anywhere. I can't tell you where all the stores are because we don't know. We do some where we do direct with the retailer itself, but a lot of that stuff is done through just distribution. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And then, of course, at St. Paul show and
Yeah.
what other shows you going to?
So we'll be at St. Paul, Blaine, Fargo.
Okay.
And we're not doing Sioux Falls this year. We have a conflict that weekend. And Sioux Falls it's a great show. Just the hard thing out there is it's just not a wheelhouse market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't get as much ice and as long of ice as we do.
Yeah,
So
I mean, the COVID year out there kind of blew us away out there. Like the numbers that we were selling out there during the COVID year was ridiculous because they were the only show, and we did a third of the sales last year that we did, the year before. It was still a good show out there, but it's a tough show after you figure all the costs and stuff like that. And that's why we like the shows in Minnesota. Where we're based right out of Chicago City, so we don't have the hotel cost and and then all of our products, everything except for the bag. The bag is made in Utah. Everything else you see here is made in Minnesota.
nice.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Sean is checking in saying SmackDown will give you 10% off. The discount code SmackDown. I'm giving you 10% off with discount code SmackDown. Get you 10% off starting tonight on our website, svensleeve.net for a week.
Whoa.
So you don't
Very
even have
generous.
to go to the shows to get stuff. You can
Right.
just buy it right
Very
on
generous.
the line.
Yeah.
So there you go, folks.
I'm going to
Yep.
take
Appreciate
advantage of
that.
I got to get one of them little
I'm taking
ones.
Shauna's side from here on out.
It's her business, so
Yeah,
I'm
there you go.
just the face of it.
You're the only one that will get up in
that's
front of
tough.
a camera.
I am. I'm
Awesome.
prettier.
Oh,
What can I say?
Shauna, you are a gorgeous woman who is fantastic and wonderful, and thank you for giving us the discount
Yeah.
there.
If you would have seen my costume last night, you'd have been like, "Man, that guy's pretty damn cool." I was Fat Thor for Halloween.
You
last
were?
night.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Appreciate you driving all the way here, fighting traffic to
Yeah.
get here.
That's great.
It's
Well, we
awesome.
appreciate it. I think this is our third year. We've done it every year, I think. since-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
There you
appreciate
go.
you guys having us. So.
Yes, sir. So I'm pretty sure I'll see you in St. Paul.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
There you go. Sven Sleeve. And then he'll get broken down. And then we've got our next guest, Undercover Guide. He's patiently waiting.
Getting
Patiently.
fired up to ice fish this year, man.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get out more
Is
than
it this
4
show?
times.
Is it because the ice
I
fishing
think it
We'll
is
see.
this show.
Is it
We'll
this
see.
show.
Is it because the ice fishing season starts here?
Yes.
Probably.
Ah,
Probably.
okay. Just saying,
That
just
and,
saying.
maybe I just needed that break,
What called spring and summer and fall?
No, called last winter not doing it.
Yeah. Oh, there's that. Yeah. Can we please get better weather for ice fishing.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
This
How about
year.
no
Oh,
slush
my
this year? Can we order that?
God. Oh, Jesus. Thank you to Clam Outdoors, Glacier Ice Houses, and Thorn Brothers. Appreciate it. Mr. Dan Haug finally showed up.
Hey,
Let's
he
see.
made it.
Let's see. Yeah. So we'll take. Well, since they've already got all that stuff set up, if you don't mind, Dan, we'll let them go, and then when he's done, we'll throw you in there and get you out of here. So appreciate you guys, all three of you, for driving here and fighting traffic. There is no traffic in South Dakota.
Wide open spaces.
That's awesome. Whenever you're ready, hop on up there. Yep, we'll get you taken care of. Let us know where you're from out there watching so we can write her down on the list. Also, share the live stream so you get entered in to win cool stuff like a nice rod from Alan Kishler, $250 Horn Dog Map gift card, and much, much, much more. All right. Let's see. Ryan Wolf says, "Attaboy, Patches."
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Attaboy. We've got all sorts of stuff. And I think they've even got a new product this year.
That's the new
Undercover.
product.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is,
Look
but
at
it's
that.
I haven't seen it before.
Look at that. Fancy. Oh, that's cool.
Whoa!
Oh yeah. See, I knew that was coming.
Oh, look at
I knew that was coming.
They got
I didn't
fancy
know
with
those
their
are-
paint schemes.
Yeah. Don't tell them yet. Don't tell them.
Oh, we're
They're not,
hyping it up.
it's not paint.
They're gonna see. Well,
It's not-
you dip or
Shh,
whatever
quiet.
the
Let
hell
him
it is.
say it. Quiet. Let him
We
say
should
it.
require everybody that's got to go
Uh,
up there do a TikTok dance.
We're not doing TikToks on this show. Some of these might get turned into
Oh, just-
TikToks down the road.
wow, just aggressive.
Tom says you guys need to try harder. We had a great season up here. Yeah. I know. I also don't live by a lake worth fishing down here much. for walleyes.
Where's up here, Tom? I don't know. What you're referring
Leech
to.
Lake.
Oh,
Leech Lake.
Leech.
Yep, Leech Lake.
My
So-
dad would say all of Canada is up here and the Arctic Circle. So
That
it's
is
pretty
true.
vast.
And if you
Pretty
go up
vast.
here far enough, you end up going down there.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's the one I got to get right there. I got to get that. Yeah, I got to get one for that.
Oh, for
That's-
your,
that's
you,
set up right
Do you
there,
have that
yeah.
bait bucket?
Yeah, I got that bait bucket. Yep.
I like it. Downsize the tackle so you can carry other stuff.
Exactly. No, that's going in one of my 3, 4, 5 bins for the ice camping setup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is thrilling television right now for folks. But that's okay. That's okay. We need a break from talking. All right, everybody. Take it. All right, everybody. Cheers to a great weekend and a great show.
Gosh, there's vodka in here.
No,
I don't.
just body armor. Orange mango.
Yep,
in case
just-
anybody at home is wondering.
Body armor.
Yeah. Hey, what's everybody's favorite snack while they're ice fishing? What's your favorite snack? I'm a beef jerky guy. I like beef jerky. Eat
Yellow
way too
snow
much of it.
cones.
I usually don't eat
You all
my
set up?
fish. Throw them headphones on. Right
Throw the
there.
headphones on and we'll go to you. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun.
Boom! What up?
Hey guys, thanks for having us back.
Yeah, thanks for
Absolutely.
coming. Thanks for fighting traffic, and
No problem.
You can now relax.
Wouldn't miss the show.
There
Yep.
you go. Appreciate it. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, and you can talk to us unless you're talking to them. We'll let you do that.
Well, thanks guys. I'm Scott with Undercover Guide. We launched last year right here at SmackDown Outdoors, and we have a few things to show you this year. We have our portable setups that we like to use outside, out and about, hole hopping, as well as our wheelhouse equipment that we have available. A lot of people know that our guides work with most of the equipment out there, all the rattle wheels on the market, and the line alarm as well. So this year we also have some hydro dipped, pretty neat looking guides available. We'll have them up on our website.
Hold it up there and let them see it a little bit.
This one here is a pretty neat camo.
Oh, we got Vanna White, also known as Alan Kishler. There you go.
Pretty snazzy.
Fancy.
Nice looking.
And Hydro Dip is nice because it's durable stuff.
It is.
not
It's
just
got a nice seal
painted
coat on it.
Yep. Imagine that. Imagine that with a rod holder on it, holding one of your American wrapped flags.
Pretty
Yep.
nice.
Rods.
Nice line alarm on there.
Oh, he will. So calm down, Alan.
So now here, the guides are $35 for show special, And then we're also doing them online. We're going to do promo code SmackDown. You can check us out on our website, order on there for 10% off. And the guides, these custom guides that are hydro dipped here, they'll be available within the next couple of weeks. We'll have them listed up on our website. It'll be at a $30 option, paint option. So
they're not cheap.
they're not cheap, but they are
They're cool. Man.
customized.
They're cool.
They're customized.
Yeah.
They're one of a kind, or there'll be the 10 different designs that we're working on.
Yeah.
So
People spend more to make stuff look cool.
yep,
Then
they like to
yeah,
customize their stuff.
Exactly.
Come out
Yeah,
with some
yeah,
neat looking
yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
So now I'd like to go on with the line alarm here, mounted to the undercover guide with the Ultimate Outdoors rattle wheel on it. It's a great combination with the line alarm and the Ultimate Outdoor. You can set up your line, use that fly line like people are using now. It's great on the rattle wheels. Set it up with another slip, and then have that long piece of slip without trimming it off come up over to the side and go right in the contact here. So when it breaks contact, the alarm goes off. Works great. It's a nice rattle wheel for using in the sleeve. It's nice, smooth rolling. I like to leave the drag all the way open so it rolls nicely. You set the tension right here on the line alarm and don't even use a bobber. So as soon as that fish takes that out of the line alarm, it's free spooling.
Yep.
So then when you snap it into the sleeve, it's a great combination right there.
So then you can actually have the cover over it. So if you don't hear the rattle, you can hear that line alarm. Because the line
Correct.
alarm, and Tony will be here tomorrow, I believe, or actually tonight to explain further about it. It's loud and it's obnoxious. You can hear every time he's demoing it from wherever you're at in there. So it wakes you up.
Definitely. You won't miss a fish.
No.
There's a few people that use it with the Ultimate that they don't have it hooked up to the line alarm. And there are some concerns about it being too quiet, can't hear it very well underneath the cover. But this is a great solution for that, and it's a great setup. It's a great fish catcher for me anyways, personally. So that's the way I use it, and I like to advertise it that way. So, and then also here it is with the Northern Light setup on it. We have the option for the electrical box right here. They come in a kit like this. So when you purchase the guide and the kit, you can put your new style Northern Light rattle wheel. So now there's been a few questions on what's the newer style rattle wheel. The difference is there's a magnetic switch inside the rattle wheel itself. So it's a magnetic switch that triggers the light on and off. And in the older style, the magnetic switch was in the arm, or the handle, it was called. So that way, with the old style, it's still possible to use it on the undercover guide. You can ship it to me. You can check us out, email us, and we can get you our information so you can mail it to us on undercover-guide.com. And it'll look like this if you have the older style with the larger box.
Very cool.
So all of them are possible to go on there. And then with the line alarm itself, works great, effective, just for the guy that likes just using the rod, putting it on the side of the
Now this right here,
bait cooler.
when I saw them hook up the undercover guide to the angle cooler, which I've only got like 4 of, I'm like, oh, here we go. And then you put the rattle reel, the rattle reel set up with the line. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
all right,
That right on there.
yep.
Yeah, that's slick. Just for the
Yep.
portable hubs, just you set it right next to you.
Just
that
outside.
stick, or outside.
Because then you've got your bait right there, all in one, and you don't have to bring a tip up with
Everything you need
Yep.
stays right on the cooler. You just carry it right along, one handle.
Yep.
Slick.
That's awesome. Only one is a beverage cooler. That's funny.
They need to make a dual slot one in there.
I have 4, and one's the small one. Guess which one is the bait cooler?
You get a little mental flavor on your bush lights. Is it really going to matter?
No,
They all go
it
down
actually
smooth.
it actually
Yeah.
gives bush
Yeah.
light flavor.
Actually, then has flavor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, new this year, guys. We're working on some new things. It's a compression ring. There's people that are sleeveless in the wheelhouse world. They don't want to use sleeves. They just pack their ice in. So I would like our product, the Undercover Guide, work for everybody that has a wheelhouse in any situation. So without a sleeve, I'm working on this product right here. It's in development. We're getting close. It snaps into the hole. Fish hole buddy pops in, and then the guide can slide right into it as well.
Dude,
Wow.
this is why I have preached. You give a 12-pack of beer to some fishermen, and anything, any problem you have, any idea you have, will be developed in I don't know before the 12-pack of beer is over.
A lot of thinking time out there.
Yeah, at least a sketch of something like this gives us something to try. That's awesome.
So yeah, a lot of people like to just drill their hole, just push their slush under, and they don't want to deal with anything else. But that's the way they like to fish. So that's what I'm working on. So the people that don't want to use them, I'm trying to come up with a great situation or product for you guys to use with the Undercover Guide.
That's cool.
No, so now
That's going to be the same.
this one
ring for
here
both sizes.
without the sleeve, just clamping into the fish hole buddy. It has these 1/4-inch rubber bumpers that will grip the sleeve or the ring, the fish hole ring, and then without these rubber bumpers, which is this one here, the people that do use the hardcore or soft sleeves, they can install them in down, fold it out a little bit. Yeah, bring this one up, extend it. This is a lot deeper box. Slide it down, get your fitting right, fold it over, and it'll snap into there to hold it in, and then also clip on. So that way it would also work with hardcore.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
now,
it's good, Alan.
good question. Skipping right over that point, right? So when a fish takes line, what do? You feed a little extra line down the hole, get some slack in the line. Watch, make sure that you have plenty of slack so you're not pulling on the fish right away. Just flip it up, and then you can just land your fish right out.
Yep.
And then when you're done, ready to send the fish back, put it back down, set your line back up again. Take your guide, put it in the upright position, set your line back up, get it where you want it. You can fish with it this way if you want to see your rattle wheel, or you put it back down and you can put a cover back on top.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yep. And Undercover Guide code SmackDown for 10% off our product until next Sunday. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
correct.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem, guys.
Appreciate that. Awesome.
I think that's all I have for you
That
today.
was slick.
That's awesome. Nope. I dig it. I got to definitely pick one of those up this year.
So now catch cover is smaller. That's an inch smaller in diameter. That's another one that I'm working on. So I'll have it for both, but it's in production. It's not in production yet. Correction. I'm working on
It's in development.
development right now for it.
Process.
So we're looking more or
Process.
less for those rings probably next year.
This year is
Five,
more
six,
testing.
Yep.
7
And-
cases of bush lights away from perfecting that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, exactly. So then
What are we doing later? We'll have her done.
I'd like to hear your guys' comments if you want to email us and
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's
give,
awesome.
give us some of your ideas and thoughts and see if that's something that's going to work for you guys.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
it
you.
very
Appreciate
much.
you
That
having
was
me.
great.
Yeah, yes,
Very
sir.
cool. I like the
And you guys will be at the
cloth
St.
sleeve.
Paul show.
We will,
Okay,
definitely.
Any other shows?
Yep, we'll be in Fargo and Blaine here.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
Are you doing again this year where, like, if people buy the sleeves, come to your
Yes.
booth, you'll drill the hole and everything for them?
Yep.
Perfect.
We work close with Sven Sleeves. We'll drill the holes for them. If they purchase Sven Sleeves at the same show that we're at, we'll take care of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's convenient.
yeah,
That's
They're
perfect.
in the same booth. Yeah.
There
this
you go.
weekend.
Perfect.
Works out great.
Perfect.
We like working with the best quality sleeve on the market. I use these myself personally. I really like them.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
So-
All right.
you go.
Thank you, guys.
You're free to go. All right. Clear all that off as fast as you can. We'll get Dan up here from Cold Snap Outdoors. He's been patiently waiting. So anybody that has a wheelhouse out there, we tried not to make this, a wheelhouse show, because there's so much stuff out there. That's why we didn't really include wheelhouses.
Part of the
like
sport, though.
Glacier. Well, yeah, but there's so many wheelhouses out there. We didn't want to do the hard houses, but we wanted to show some accessories as well, especially the cool stuff that we see. And yeah, I mean, these are super cool.
Brian has a question or any plans for a hub house? Well, we already saw that they make sleeves for hub houses. I'm sure you could just do the same thing. You have to drill that 1-inch hole, and then it'll accept the undercover.
Yeah, more than likely, I think.
Yeah,
I think.
he
Does that fits on a 8-inch sleeve, right? The undercover.
It'd fit
That
on
would fit
anything.
that would fit in an 8-inch sleeve, right? The undercover guy. Okay.
Oh, not yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're working on it with Sven.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
okay. I
all
thought
right.
they demonstrated that, but that must have been something else.
Yeah. Let me know. Yeah, that was the other one.
Oh, that was
Oh,
one
that
you
the
flip
clips
up and
up
then
on,
flip
on the
straight
cover.
down. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got you.
Yeah. Well,
I
when
got
you figure it out, let me know, because that's because that would come in.
I
Super,
really
super
like
More
that,
bush
that
lights are gonna lose their
cloth
life.
sleeve.
Okay, hold on, one at a time.
Oh, sorry.
You were saying, Dale?
I said more bush lights are going to
Okay.
lose their
Yeah,
life.
anyway,
That's all.
what?
I was just to say, I really like that cloth sleeve as an option too, just for storage purposes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got a 24-foot house, got 7 to 9 holes in it. Those things fold up nice, come back,
Mhm.
kind of
Yep.
nice. Very cool. Nice option to have.
All right. I might have to move the camera down a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah. Let me move the camera down. Stay there, Dan.
Alan.
Yeah, on the left side here, there's a knob. Undo that. No, the one your fingers are touching. Yep. Go. No. Go. Nope. On the left side of it. The left side of the thing. You already were there before. That big giant knob on the left. There you go. Unloosen that. And move down. Keep going. Stop. Perfect.
Nailed it.
And tighten it back up and walk away. Don't touch any cords, for the love of God. Don't touch any
Don't
cords.
kick into anything.
Don't touch anything else. Hi, Dan.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Dan.
Thanks for joining us, sir.
I apologize, running a little bit late. This traffic is not something I'm used to.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Everybody's had the same issue.
yeah.
So.
They better be done before ice fishing season starts. Otherwise, I'm going to be highly annoyed.
I can't believe they would have number 10 down to 2 lanes. I mean, for what, 3-4 miles in a row?
It's Minnesota. I believe it.
Yeah. They
I
don't
believe it.
really
And it
care.
doesn't look like it's going to be done anytime soon.
Well, I guess I got 169 and then cut over or something. Elk River's tore up too? Oh, Christ. Hey, Tom Petrosky, I'm just moving in this winter. Or Patrick, you got an extra bedroom?
Yeah.
All right,
Absolutely.
cool. Sorry, hun. I'm not living here this winter. All right.
Well, thanks for the invite, guys. I thought
Yes,
I'd just
sir.
bring some of the new products. We're up at the Adrenaline Sports Center for the First Ice Expo,
Yeah.
sponsored by Thorne Brothers. So
Yes, sir.
so
sir. Yeah.
came down here just to show you guys in your audience what we have new this year. So
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Appreciate
and
that.
One of the products that when it came out, I was like, "What's this? This is kind of weird." And then people I don't know if it was you at a show or somebody showed me on the ice, and I was like, "Oh, that's not the easiest thing on the planet now." And then it got better with the second version, and it's something I have in the boat. I have multiples of that are everywhere. Anytime I go catch a fish, it's with me, even bigger fish. So
yeah, I was surprised at how well the toothpick took off too. I mean, it surprised me more than anybody. And then, the new product we have this year is what we call the T2 Tamer. So on the back, it's got double-sided tape. So this would go into the side of your wheelhouse. You could put it by each hole. It has a retracting lanyard that presses right into the front that's removable. So if you want, you can pull this out and put one of the different toothpicks and hang it on your jacket like this, and it comes right back. Or you can put a towel on there, and it'll snap right back up there too.
boy, here we go.
Yeah. So I've got these pressed a couple places in my boat.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging crankbaits from them when I'm switching it out, so I don't get them caught in the carpet. Guys in their wheelhouse will use these. They'll pull the. I saw, and it amazed me all the new stuff that they figure out with doing with hard house with sleeves and covers. I thought that had all been done, but no, that was amazing. The way that rattle reel
Yeah.
tipped out, that was awesome.
And I don't know if he does, or do you still make those all yourself, or do you have somebody? He makes all those undercover guides by himself. He
I
bends all
helped.
that metal. You did like 6. Be quiet.
Oh, I did way more than 6. Scott, how many of those things did I do? About 1,000. Yeah.
So I mean, just a dude in his garage, starting out his garage or basement. Who knows where
It's a garage.
Hey,
shop,
brother,
yeah.
I was there not that long ago.
Yeah.
So
And this is another one here. It's small companies, man.
Yep. Grow organically. That's
Yep.
what we did. So when you take the hook off your rattle reel, you can just press it right into the foam right next to the hole or stuck to the wall. You got these in the back of the boat. I hang my crankbaits or jigs from it. There's square holes in the top. That'll accept pliers or a mouth spreader or something like that. Anything you want to use. But
Scissors,
these all,
stuff like that.
scissors or whatever you want to put in there. So this whole thing retails for $19.99. Comes with the toothpicks and the retracting line.
Oh, it comes everything together.
Yep. And
you see
I brought a few for you guys as gifts.
Oh, I
So-
appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Appreciate
Maybe
it.
you get one of
Thank you.
I was
today.
my wallet was starting to reach out onto the table again, but I
should have
appreciate
saved
that.
I should have
I
saved that. You
spoke
almost
too soon.
Yeah,
I
you
spoke
almost
too
made a
soon.
sale.
He did.
Well, I know you guys talking about it will sell me a few, so I'm okay
No,
with
that's a great idea. How flexible is that foam? Like, can you put it on a bucket and have it stay there, or would you want to maybe
that. It
upgrade
has to be on a flat surface.
Okay.
It's closed cell foam, so it's not going to absorb a bunch of water.
Perfect.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he
yep.
might have just given you another idea for next year. One that's contoured for
A bucket.
a bucket.
Seriously,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We'll
could
call
do-
it the
we could do
SmackDown.
that.
We'll call
Yeah.
it the SmackDown edition.
Yeah, we
Even
can
SmackDown
do that.
Outdoors edition.
Even though it was a full scale idea.
It was not. Go on.
I think you guys already have some of the inventing fluid down already
Yeah.
today, huh?
We're just
I
too
wish.
lazy to actually go
No,
through
we're
with
just-
any of it.
That is a 100% true
Yeah.
statement.
And this is an easy one, but we just did a different colored toothpick. So we have the XL and the regular version in red now. So that was a fairly easy thing to do for us. And then something we're real excited about, and I'm in the home of the custom rods, and I see one of our counterparts over here, a custom rod builder.
Oh, yeah.
This is our new 34-inch split grip rod called the Eagle. Last year we had the Talon, so we got the full bird this year. So we're
Nice.
sticking with the bird and the Talon theme. So it's a split grip 34-inch, extra fast. It's got the bright thread wrap on the end. These are all fly guides. It's got the fold down lure keeper.
Ooh.
This is a fiberglass rod, so this would be a rod you would probably want to fish outdoors with because of the length, but you could fish indoors too. You just got to watch out for those hook sets that hit the top of your fish house. Although now the way Clam's making those fish houses with a higher roof, I think
Yep.
that'll
Yeah.
get away with doing longer rods inside.
Oh, yeah.
So we're happy with this one too. And the first 2 shows, they're selling like hotcakes. So if you're gonna make it to the Adrenaline Sports Center this weekend, give us a shout, stop by and check those out. But they've been selling really well, so
That's
we're happy
awesome.
with that.
That's awesome.
So we also have a couple other products I'll just tell you about that I don't have with, but it seems like I was
Website?
always what's that?
You have them on your website at all?
No, we don't because
Oh,
they're
okay.
still on
Never
the boat, so to
Oh.
speak.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, this
Or are you
evidently a slower boat. So,
On the retail on the
the
rods.
rods. The rod is a $59.99 retail.
Okay.
Yep. There's a special show special if you get to the Adrenaline Sports Center, a rod and a Tundra Light rod case, which retails for $60 as well, for $100. So that's a $20 savings, and you
Wow.
combo them together.
Nice.
And that's been really popular. I would probably say you should get there in the morning, so we still have a few rod cases left. The other 2 products that are new to us, and pretty simple. We've got a clamp-on can holder that'll go on the poles of a fish house.
Nice.
So
Okay.
so I mean, it always seems like I'd rather have the can here rather than down by my feet where I'm going to
Yeah.
kick into it or freeze. And it'll still be on a swivel, so if you flip your shack over, it'll keep the can upright.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
that's pretty cool, and it's going to be a great price point as well. They're going to be 2 for $10 or 1 for $6, and we'll have those at all the next shows.
Okay. So you'll have it at St. Paul when I'm there.
We'll have it at St. Paul. We'll
Sweet.
have it at Blaine, Fargo, and Sioux Falls, Dakota Angler Ice Institute, which is on the 12th.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
The other one is a very nice aluminum rod rack. It'll hold 12 on each side. It'll hold small rods, so ice rods, but it'll also hold full-size long rods for the summer as well. So if you sit it on the table, it'll hold ice rods. It would be too tall if you put long rods on it, but on the floor, it would hold 24 long rods as well.
I'll
nice.
challenge the heck out of that times like 2.
Yeah, so
we'll see if
and,
that
and
actually
that's
holds it.
also going to be at a price point that's not going to break the bank as well. That'll be at $49.99.
Nice.
All aluminum, so lightweight and folds down, and yeah, it's adjustable. It's really pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, and of course you've got the rod, not the rod covers, the auger
Auger covers.
Do you
Yep.
have one for the new Ion that just came out, or is it the same as the old one?
Well, yeah. See, I'm about 99% sure the new Ion is the same as the pistol
The
bit.
pistol
the
bit.
way the sizing of that ring is on the bottom. So the pistol bit cover works for the 8-inch. We do not have a 10-inch one for that new version, but that's something it'll be in development, and it shouldn't take more than it'll
Case
probably
and a
be
half.
yeah, it might be a full case, but
That's just
No,
because he's from South Dakota.
the design is done. Basically,
Yeah.
all we need to do is cut the steel for the mold, and the injection mold is pretty good size for those. And
Yeah,
it takes some time. So I wouldn't promise anybody anything later this season on a 10-inch new Ion cover. Probably next season, but there might be some early next year sometime we might be able to do it.
It's a little tough with some of the stuff you do, like the covers, because you don't know what's going to happen until all of a sudden it gets released, and then it's like, oh, we got to make this now. Oh, great.
Well, the reason I had it designed is we fully expected that we were going to need it because we had a lot of people asking. Everybody's got a wheelhouse with a 10-inch auger in it, and so we had it all designed. And then I'd heard through the grapevine that they might be discontinuing it. So I'm like, well, I'm going to hold off till I find out for sure. But no, they just changed the way it's built. I think it's made with steel on the bottom, whereas that pistol bit was originally all
It was a
composite.
composite, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a smart move to do a steel ring on the bottom. Not that I'd ever seen one that had any problems with the composite, but the steel I think is going to hold up great. So
do you? We got a question. Any plans for a 5-inch razor/laser cover, or do you have one that might come close enough?
We've kind of tried to modify a 6-inch before, and it doesn't work. It works, but it's not great. I'm not real happy with it.
And there's not a lot of guys out there that
and the
have a
same thing.
5,
One of the Rogers asked me, "Do you have a 5? Are you going to make me a 7-inch cover?" No, there's, they haven't made a 7-inch auger for quite a while. I think.
Yeah. Well, Razor's coming out with one supposedly. So, and that's kind of like a laser.
In their standard size augers, we have covers that'll work for them.
Yeah.
So
Oh, even small, the 4-inch Scouts,
yeah,
Razor Scouts.
yeah, and we don't have any plans on anything that small either. But
it's a. Are we going to make our
Special
money
niche
back
market,
for as much as that big chunk of steel for them to mill it out, or how
Right.
molding?
Yeah, because you have to think about it. The block that it comes out of is in massive molds. That these things are.
Yeah.
So it has to have enough volume to be able to merit the expense that it takes up front.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I get it.
Yep. But as always on our auger covers, they're all lifetime guaranteed. So if you ever had a problem with it, you cracked it, broke it somehow, even if it's your fault, I'll replace it. Once in a while somebody will come up at the shows and say, "Hey, my band is a little loose," or "I broke my band." We just give them one. There's not. They don't. I don't require.
I've been
any
there
proof
when you
of
do
purchase.
it.
Yeah,
you've done it before.
Yeah, and at big shows, I'll hand out a dozen or so. So I mean, considering all the thousands of covers we had out there, I'm surprised that those bands have held up as good as they have. But it is a special kind of rubber, and it's meant to be gas and oil resistant for back in the days when there was a lot of two strokes. So it was also supposed to be real resistant to UV light. Yeah. So that's why, I mean, we did our homework on the front end. So luckily it's been great. The bands have held up awesome.
Yeah. No, it's
Good
awesome.
deal.
All right. And anything else?
I really can't think of anything else unless anybody's got some questions.
No, just if there was any, 5 inches or anything like that. So
Utah Mike is he said 100% cold snap, but do we have Utah Mike? Are you from Utah? Do we get to add Utah to our state list?
Yeah. Yep. Nope.
Well, hello, Utah.
I'm
Mike.
making an
There-
assumption here.
there
but
you go.
it's-
Who
I
knows?
wrote it down because I made the assumption.
Oh,
We'll
okay,
just
good.
make
That
the
boy.
assumption. Yeah. Well, Dan, hey, thank you very much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. We'll see you in St. Paul.
I'll be there.
Thank
All right,
you, sir.
Sounds
Awesome.
good. ColdSnapOutdoors.com, correct? Yes, sir. All right. Thank you. All right. There you go. We'll let him clear out. And then we got Arctic Anchor. They're going to set up. And like I said, if you got a four-wheeler, snowmobile, and probably something else that I haven't, he'll let us know what you can all use this thing with. It's pretty cool. And it can save you a lot of time, a lot of headache, and probably an embarrassing phone call to a buddy or a
Yes.
brother or a dad, something like that. So we'll let him get set up. Alan, we'll have you be cameraman. Make sure he's got good to go. So
Thank you.
let's go
very
ahead
much,
and
sir.
throw her up on the table, and we'll get her there. Thank
Awesome.
You.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dan.
That's
Appreciate
awesome.
Thanks, Dan.
it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Big Sean Cox in the building. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
I like this red.
Appreciate it.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah,
the
the
red.
red's cool.
Red is
he's
really
got
cool.
red, he's got green, he's got the tan, he's got pink. I don't know if he's got any colors that he's got out there, but it's just it's one of those things. It's like, hey, we got plastic, we might as well make some different colors because we're fishermen and we'll buy stuff because of colors.
And these are one of those things
Yeah.
like I've probably owned a dozen of these at some point.
Yeah.
And they just get lost in the shuffle, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't worry about it, and
Mhm.
I know exactly where they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Traffic from Ramsey is terrible, Jared. Just so everybody knows, Utah
Mhm.
represented. He did say Utah represented.
Nice.
You can turn that lens or the screen so you can see him too. So you can kind of set it up beforehand. So we can thank
Go
the
ahead and
sponsors
snag
of
those.
the show. That's right. Clam Outdoors, Glacier Ice Houses, and Thorn Brothers. Appreciate it for sponsoring the show. Please, all of you out there, show them some love, send them some messages, tell them that, hey, those guys did a pretty good job on that show. We enjoy it. So big Jim Seagraves, he's checking in. What's up, Jim? We're getting set up. Hopefully, I don't know what are we doing with mics here.
I don't know.
Switching things around.
Switching stuff around. That's cool. All right. We'll get them all set up. Are we ready? All right. How does he want to set that thing up there? Got that there. We can put it right up on the table if you want. The table's strong. It'll hold. Yeah.
Is it going
Just
to be
put it right up in
too
front?
tall? Is it going to be in frame? We good?
No, frame it up there, Alan. Make him pull it towards you this way so we don't have to turn the camera. We want to keep the background in. Alan, back this way.
More left.
Just pull the whole thing towards you. Yeah, you. Yeah, pull everything that way. The display and everything. There we go. I keep
There
that
we go.
background
We can actually set it up on a chair here. So
oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get this. I know what's going on. All right, you guys talk about something.
Microphones make me nervous. I
Yeah.
feel like you should know that.
I've never been a huge fan of electrical. I love to use it, but the thing of it is you can't see when it's going amok.
Electrical what? What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about
Where did-
mics.
where did I
and
learn you?
audio.
Technology?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I love it, but it's like
That is a
why
that
all of a
is-
sudden
yeah.
is this not working? You can't physically see why it's not working.
That is the thing
you know
with
what?
technology. It's
I'll stand.
wonderful when it works. As soon as it doesn't, the biggest pain in the butt ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're ready. For our last
All
one
right,
this
here we go.
afternoon. Okay, let's go over here. Are we ready? Look at Alan playing director over here. What's going on?
Alan
Oh, he
Ford
doesn't-
Coppola.
No, he doesn't have to turn to it. We can see it.
Alan
Yeah. Oh no,
Gunn.
we're good. All right. Hi. How are you?
not too bad. How about yourself?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for joining us. You can talk to us, and then when you if you feel like you need to talk to the people at home while you're explaining something, go ahead.
Not a problem.
One of those things. So go ahead and introduce yourself and the company and what you got.
Well, I'm Jim Fitzgerald. I'm the owner of Arctic Anchor. What I make is I make a lightweight UTV, ATV self-recovery ice anchor for when you go out and you get stuck in the ice, a slush, a snow. You head across the bay by yourself and end up on a plow ridge and get stuck. This item will let you drill a hole out in front of the wheeler machine, pop it down the hole, hook onto your winch, pull yourself out, and you're back fishing in minutes.
Yeah, and I walked by this thing a couple times, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I've seen it. And then I actually stopped and I watched you do a demo, and I was like, okay, yeah, hi, I'm Doug. I do this little show. If you want to join it
Right,
and promote
yeah.
it, let's go. So go ahead. Yeah.
So I can show you how it works.
Yep. Take us through the spiel.
Yep, very simple. You go out, head out fishing, and you end up stuck, like you say, in the slush, the snow. Pretty simple. You just run out front with a auger, drill a hole, pop her down, and it self-rights underneath the ice.
Yep.
Locks in nice and secure, and you attach your winch into the loop end and simply hit the button and pull yourself out. And then once you're out and free and getting ready to go back fishing,
And this is how I was like, how do you get the thing back out?
I get that question
Here we
a
go.
lot.
Yep.
So you just drop it back down, grab the stainless steel cable, and out the hole it comes.
Mm-hmm.
Fits in any size auger hole. If you got a 3-inch auger, it'll go down a 3-inch hole and come right back out again.
Yep.
And the nice thing is, this thing weighs 2.5 pounds and has a breaking strength of 10,000 pounds. And that's certified.
Okay. So you're getting out if you got a good winch. So make sure you're first of all, folks, make sure you got a good winch.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we even have, I got people that are always like, well, I don't have a winch. I'm not interested. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. You go down to L&M Fleet or wherever and you buy yourself a come along. Come along works great. I mean, it sure beats shoveling. It sure beats
Yeah,
pushing.
right.
Yep.
So,
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, winches are relatively cheap. I mean, if you're spending $5-6 grand on a sled,
yes.
what's, I don't know, a couple $100 on a winch.
Well, that's just it. I've had people that have come across a pickup that's stuck and they've got a UTV or an ATV even. And what they'll do is they'll drop this thing in the hole and they anchor over the ball hitch on their wheeler and they hook onto the pickup and they pull the pickup out with a 4-wheeler.
Wow.
But all you're doing is anchoring your machine and allowing your winch to be a winch.
Right.
It's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're giving yourself the advantage.
Yep.
So that happens quite a bit. I've seen a full-size pickup in Fish House winched out by a 4-wheeler just because they had the advantage of anchoring this thing behind and stopping the wheeler from moving. And now your 4,000-pound winch is a 4,000-pound winch again.
Yeah. Excellent.
Nice.
How did you come up with this?
Well, one time we were out fishing.
Well, you see,
Actually, what happened was
He got that phone call from somebody.
no, my dad did actually, because I was doing shift work at a power plant at the time. My brother went out walleye fishing. It was about midnight. He got done. So he went to go home and he dropped into a slush field. 20 below, cold, and
Yeah.
he could go back and forth, but he could not climb out. And he actually ended up calling my dad to get out of bed, come across the lake with his wheeler. Luckily, he didn't get stuck and pull him out. And we were joking about it that weekend about, hey, you know what? You got a winch. Why don't you just hook up and pull yourself out? And right there, it's,
Well, pull myself out to what? There's
Yeah.
nothing in the middle of a lake.
Yep.
Well, now
and that was the big joke. And all of a
Yep.
sudden the brain started going. And I went through probably 6-7 variations because everything I started out with steel and everything was so heavy. It didn't really want to hook in right. And I finally came up with my own custom extruded aluminum piece.
I saw the end of that, and that was
Yep.
kind of unusual. I was going to ask you about that.
it's reinforced, which is nice.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yep.
this is actually a 2-piece extrusion to make this. And this bar weighs 1 pound and this bar holds 10,000 pounds.
Wow.
Phew.
And it's all because of that custom extrusion
Yeah.
with the reliefs cut in it and that center put in there.
Yep.
So that's what makes it
physics,
so strong.
man.
Yeah. Go ahead and show the folks again. Here, let
Yeah.
me
Nerd
take this
stuff.
off of the screen.
Is
so
there
we get
any
a full view.
so like post-use carrying to do like that strap? I would imagine you want to dry that thing out if you had to get it all wet.
Actually, we have a custom made mesh bag because that was one of the concerns is you forget it in there and it gets moldy, just like a toe strap would if you forgot it in the bag.
Yep.
So this thing will actually dry in the bag.
Okay.
And as long as you don't lock it in a sealed container, it's going to dry.
Yep.
You're going to have zero problems. I've had them where I put them away wet in the front of my wheeler. Next fall, pull it out. It's like, oh, that's where that went. Nothing wrong with it. It's not mildewy. It's not moldy. It's not anything.
Smart.
So basically wrap it up, put it away, get it ready for the next time.
There you go.
Hopefully, there's no next time.
Right.
But just in case,
I'm just
There's
saying.
always a next time.
yeah. There's always yeah.
It might not be you. It
Yeah.
could be somebody else.
Yeah, I've almost put a winch on the front of my truck for pulling
Yeah.
myself out of this, that, and the other, or other
Yeah.
people. But yeah,
Oh, and that's the thing. I've had quite a few people pull out snow bears
out in Devil's Lake.
Oh yeah,
Next
but those
thing you-
don't get stuck.
Oh God, no,
Yeah,
never.
No, yeah, no.
But yeah, I mean, definitely. And I've actually sold to a few snow bear. I have 2 snow bear dealers, and they started selling winches because now they have a way to get themselves out.
Yeah.
So yeah, like again, so simple. How to use it? Hold it upright, drop her down in the water, and she self-rights. Locks in nice and secure in the bottom of the ice. And as soon as you pull yourself out, you drop her down, grab the stainless steel cable, and out the hole it comes. It's that
And
simple.
make sure your winch is hooked up to the loop before dropping that thing down.
Yeah,
the
true
hole.
story.
I'm just getting.
Yeah.
I can just see it happening
Yeah.
in my head where someone lets go
Yeah.
and this down
Well-
the hole it goes.
Well, then now you're fishing with a treble hook because there's plenty of stuff to get snagged.
But you better get that metal part, or you ain't gonna get it up out of the hole.
Yeah, right.
And I shouldn't even say this because that's like number 1 in my instructions is hook it up to your winch.
I could see it while you're going through it. I'm like, someone's gonna forget that step,
Yep.
See, and I don't do it.
and they're gonna let go.
I'm
and
terrible for that. And this thing is so light that I throw it down the hole, and you're not going to clean the hole you're going to pull with.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I throw it down the hole, and I just give the strap a tug into the slush. I lay it on the ice.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
so light.
Yeah.
Not saying that it can't go down.
Yeah, hook it up to
I
your
mean,
wheel, your winch.
Gravity
first.
is
Yes.
gravity, but
Yes.
yes.
That's funny.
But yeah, you don't have to worry about turning around and this thing goes zoop and it's down the hole. I mean, you would have to be a sloth to not catch it if it started going. It is
Yeah.
that light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice fishing Manitoba checking in. Thank you.
Nice.
How does it hold up in a 10-inch hole? It works as
Well,
long
yeah.
as it. Yeah, it's
If
fine.
you're cutting a hole wider than that thing can grab onto,
Yeah.
you've got other
I
problems.
want to see. He's got the auger from Fargo.
Yeah.
The show Fargo, the 2-foot auger or whatever it was.
Yep, and this has been tested. This holds up in any size hole for any ice fishing auger out there, 10-inch all the way down to the smallest auger.
Yeah.
So that is not an issue at all. 10-inch, perfect.
Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
And-
cool.
And that's the thing, when you put it in a 10-inch hole and you put pressure on it, it actually slides over to the edge. I mean,
Right.
there's realistically only maybe 6 inches of this thing showing
Yeah,
when you do that. So,
No.
yep, not a problem.
Yep.
That's
I mean,
genius.
This is it's a simple product. I mean, thanks for showing up. Bye. but
Not a problem.
but I mean, yeah, but it's something I saw. And I mean, there's so many people with sleds, 4-wheelers out on the ice,
Yes.
truck, whatever. Something I thought definitely we should show this year.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Do you make them all yourself?
I do.
You do?
Yep.
Do you put them together yourself?
Yep, my material all comes U.S. material.
Okay.
And then I assemble it all myself. Like I said, my own custom extrusion. This is my own custom size strap. Straps are
it's a
people
good
say
looking-
straps are straps, but this is actually industrial strength.
It's double thicker than like most straps I've ever seen. So you made sure it would hold.
Yeah, the strap actually I had them
Double
tested,
thicker.
and
Good
these
English.
the straps break at 16,000 pounds.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the aluminum. The strap actually ends up crushing the aluminum when you get over 10,000 pounds.
So if the aluminum starts giving way,
You've got bigger problems.
Man, you stuck.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. People think, oh, my wheeler and my house and everything weighs this. Well, you're not picking it up from the sky. All you need to do is get it moving.
get it rolling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
in it, if you did like completely, like the wheeler went in, right? You feel like it's in. Would you be able to recover? You think? Pull it up and out of the ice?
With that strap.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, that's with the
I mean,
strap.
maybe- I mean,
could, but-
wheelers aren't that heavy.
Oh,
mean-
wheeler, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be more like
Buy one and check then test it.
if
with
you've
your
ever
wheeler.
if you've ever dropped a wheeler in, they're a pain to get
Oh,
back
yeah.
over the
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah.
But even too, we've had guys that have dropped the house in when they're pulling it with a UTV, and the wheels go in. And pretty simple. Same thing. Hook it up, even with the house on. Hook it up. Run your winch, and that's the big thing too. People don't understand. You need to run your winch. If you have a 4,000-pound winch, it only pulls 4,000 pound when the winch is all the way out. Because the more line you put on that spool, the less your winch pulls. So when they rate them that way, if you're really stuck and you got a 4,000-pound winch and you want to use it all, walk that thing out 50 feet, drop this down, and then start pulling.
Okay.
That's
so
when
you
you
want to
get your
drill your
That's a
you
good
want to
tip.
basically take all your line out of
Yeah.
your winch and then drill your hole and go from there.
Yep, and that keeps
Gotcha.
your attack angle
Nice and
almost
flat.
level, because if you short winch yourself, if I go from me to you,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
kind of pulling at a downward angle,
Yep.
you're your own worst enemy.
Also, you're creating a mess.
It's-
If you have
it's
something
physics.
spooled on the roll and then you put all that pressure on it, it's going to bind into whatever you have there.
Backlash.
You've
It's like
Oh.
a backlash.
the
Yes.
opposite of backlash. It's
Ugh.
going to
Get the knife out.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Good luck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be terrible. That's good. That was a really good tip.
Yeah, and they're nice and compact. I mean, even too, like I tell people, they're so light. You know, it fits. Of course, it's all kind of bundled up here, but
Yeah.
fits in your rod bucket. It's not a big bulky piece of chain with a chunk of rebar on the end of it that's all rusty and messy. And this, you can throw it in with your rods. It fits in most like the front compartments of the wheelers that flip up.
Mhm.
Mine, when I go to shows, I can put 4 of these, a toe strap, a first aid kit, no problem at all. Fits underneath there, all nice and flat. A lot of guys with the UTVs, they'll take Velcro and they'll just Velcro it up to the roll bar, and it just rides with.
Yeah.
Yep.
That way
Yeah,
you have it.
Yeah, and you got that nice mesh bag too. Keep
Yes.
everything together.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a good move there.
And that's got, it's got a carrying strap on it. So that's kind of handy for that. But yeah, and that's a huge thing. I mean, just so people don't put it away wet and it rots. That
Yep.
mesh bag allows you to put it away and it just dries.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome.
No, I dig it. I like it. I think it's a great idea.
I like things like this that were just that aha moment.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
And it's simple.
And it is. When I get people walk
Yeah.
away from my booth and go, "Hey, God, why didn't we think of that?" Then you know you're onto something.
Yeah.
I think I heard one when I was standing there, a guy going, "Oh, I thought about that, but I didn't make one." Da 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 da. Or Utah Mike, he goes, he's saying, "I have used a homemade version many times."
Yes.
So, well, when that one fails, finally, Mike, or you just feel like getting another one, check out Arctic Anchor.
Yep, exactly. I get a lot of that. Oh, just stick a 2x4 in. Well,
How do you get the 2x4 out?
if you're in 42 inches of ice, they make a really good bobber.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough to get it down there.
Yeah.
And then they don't hold as much as you think they would.
Yeah.
On end, they only hold about 1,400 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 2x4. They break it if you grab the wrong one at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Plus they're crooked and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, they're already pre-stressed. So
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, no doubt.
Not sure if you mentioned this, but what's retail on your Anchor?
Well, right now we're actually bumping up November 1st to $99.99.
Okay.
Because material, same as everything else.
Yeah.
You buy milk, you buy bread. I mean, everything went crazy. We were $89.99 until November 1st. So,
Okay.
Yep, we will be
It's
bumping
October
up.
29th.
Okay. So you got
Still not.
$89.99. There you go.
I'd
We
say
do have
Hurry up and order today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were we? This is not to put you on the spot. Were we doing a discount code at all for the show?
You know what?
It's completely up to you. Say no. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So
90
I
bucks
I
is
haven't got it set up with my website, so
Okay.
people tried to use it. It wouldn't work, and that's on me.
Yep.
I should have been thinking ahead, but Norwegian kid.
It's all right. It's all right.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Well, you get a discount if you buy today because if you wait till November 1st,
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
it's
more.
basically you're saving $10.
You got
There you
$2.
go.
You got 2 days. So
Yep.
there you go.
It's like Menards, 11% off.
there
Why?
you go.
My wife's always like, "Why 7%, 11%?" I'm like, "It's the race car thing." She's like, "It's stupid." I'm like, "You call them and tell them that. I don't know."
Well,
Nah,
if you keep
even-
it where they can't figure it in their head, they're like, that's fine, I'll buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
even for $100, I mean that's super inexpensive
insurance.
versus
Dude, if
calling
you've ever been
a
out
wrecker
there
to come out there and try to pull you out.
Exactly.
sweating, shoveling out
Yes.
your machine, and
Yeah.
I know we all have. If someone's like, "Hey, $100, I can get you out in about 5 minutes," you're like, "Here you
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, even too, these people that go out in the big water, you're out in Lake of the Woods or Mille Lacs or something.
Do you have
And-
cell service?
Well, even too, where's the nearest neighbor? You
Right.
know,
go."
to go get him. But we get people that they got the ice castle on behind the pickup, and either they've been sitting there for a week and it sank down and they hook onto the pickup and they can't get going. Where I just take and I put this out front and I take a come along.
Yep.
And after about 10 clicks, that pickup and fish house are out.
The nightmare that was the very last Eel Pout Festival.
Oh.
I was there the day before everything froze, and if we all remember, there were vehicles frozen in,
Yep.
houses frozen in. I mean, we saw people trying to pull each other out here and there, and this could have saved a lot of people a lot of money.
Yep. I was waiting for my patent to clear when that happened. So I wanted to go
Wow.
so
really?
bad.
Oh, you would have made a killing.
Oh yeah. It's only an hour and a half north of me.
Yeah.
So
I would have driven from down here up there. I don't
Yeah.
care, because it would have been it was crazy.
yeah, it'd have been sale after sale after sale.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
So $100
sure.
is cheap insurance. It's one of those. Yeah, you might never use it. Good.
Well,
lucky,
that's-
good. But
Yep.
more than likely you will at some
Your
point.
$100 customer route ever get you unstuck? I don't think so.
No, yeah, good point. Yeah, your $800 auger ever get you unstuck? No. Well, it will with this though. So there you go. Sure. All right. Appreciate it.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Uh,
Appreciate it.
ArcticAnchors.com, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Cool.
ARCTIC. Yep.
Yep.
ArcticAnchor.com. We have a website. We're on Facebook.
Yep.
We got some YouTube videos. Some of the old ones were shot with me and the wife, so there's some swearing and some editing, but that's the way it goes. Early stages of business.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We're fishermen. If you get offended by that in something for fishing, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. And then you'll be at probably St. Paul again and some other shows.
We will be at Sioux Falls. We'll be at Blaine. We'll be at St. Paul. We'll be at Fargo.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So we hit the circuit for what is viable to hit. So
There
Oh,
you go.
yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, so thank you much.
Perfect.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
So,
thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Awesome
driving
product.
over here and all that
Awesome
good stuff.
product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having me on.
There
Yep.
we
You
go.
bet.
All right. Arctic Anchor. I think
Super cool.
that's the last one of the
That's
evening.
it for this
That's it.
afternoon. Now we got a
Whew,
whole
we
evening
made-
yet to
made
go.
through. Right on time, basically, too. How about that?
Even with all the
How about-
delays
yes. Yes. Thank you to
and
all
construction
the
stuff.
all the companies that came over from the show. We didn't realize there was construction that bad and just a mess. So we made it work. We got her done. Thank you to the sponsors, Clam Outdoors.
Thanks, Clam.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Clam.
thanks, Clam.
Glacier Ice Houses.
Hey,
Thank you,
thanks,
Glacier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
appreciate
of
it.
course, Thorn Bros. Thank you very much for
Thanks,
having us.
Thorn.
Thank you all for watching. Go ahead and share it one more time before you all leave. There you go. You get entered in to win some stuff. Rod, guide trips, gift cards, all sorts of stuff. Who knows? Maybe we'll even give away someone. What are you
We're
doing
gonna
later?
give away
What are
someone?
you doing later? We're going to give you away 24 hours, and you get to tell him what to do.
I am
Keep
not.
it clean,
I am
folks.
not
Keep it
signing
clean.
up for that. Mm-mm.
Anywho,
Mm-mm. I'll
all
give
right,
you.
folks.
I'll give you a free guide trip, but I am not signing up for 24 hours. Anything you want.
just clean the house. Clean the
I
house.
don't. That's what I don't want to do.
Oh.
None of the dirty stuff. I'm in for that. I'm not cleaning the house. We don't do windows.
Bye, everybody.
One.